Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the dawn. Good afternoon, Quad Cities. Welcome to ESPN 1170. Don't hassle us, we're local. We're live in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right TV and Security. I have no idea where T-Roy is. I'm sure he's on his way. He'll come through the door any minute. But in studio with me, back again. I feel like this is our Quad City version, Siokas, of Joe Dirt. Have you ever seen the movie Joe Dirt?
Isn't it Meet Joe Dirt?
No, it's just called Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt, and I have seen it, yeah.
Yeah, and then they like, hey, you got to come back another day.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I can't think of this is my dream. Sit in an air-conditioned room, drink beer, and talk about sports. Come on.
Funny story about Joe Dirt. All right? I actually went on Paula Sands Live.
Is it Paula Sands Live or Paula Sands Live?
Live.
Okay, got it.
PSL, for those in the know. In the biz, we call it PSL. Went on Paula's show, did a movie review of Joe Dirt and Josie and the Pussycats.
Was Linda Cook there with you?
Linda Cook was there with me,
Yes.
That's right.
Get a shout out to you, Linda. You're wonderful. I love you. And you always treated me well, so thank you.
I did a movie review. At the time, I was dating the producer of Paula Sands Live. And Linda Cook's husband was on one time with her. And I was like, why can't I be on there? Why don't you guys just let other people come on? Give their review. So she talked her into it. I have no idea how. And I got to do Joe Dirt and Josie and the Pussycats. My review of Josie and the Pussycats was, I really enjoyed this movie when it was called Spice World.
Which is about the Spice Girls?
Yes.
Okay.
And I get it, and I said it was about girl empowerment. And if you take anything out of this, I said, teach your daughter maybe to play an instrument. Now, the Joe Dirt one, you keep in mind their demographics were like, there's like 60-year-olds for Paula Sands Live. And they said, okay, what's your suggestion for Joe Dirt? And I said, skip a night at the tavern with your buddies and go catch a flick instead. Go enjoy this movie. Mm-hmm. And they just stared at me. So I never got asked back again.
Crickets?
Yeah, I never got asked back to do another movie
Speaking about
review.
the Spice Girls, who was your favorite Spice Girl?
Posh.
Mine too.
Yeah.
She ended up marrying Beckham. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he bends it.
Scary Spice did scare me.
Yeah.
Sporty Spice scared me too.
My favorite Spice of all
Ginger
time.
was Ginger scared me in a good way.
I'm impressed that you can name all of them.
Eh.
I think I can name 2 or 3.
No,
My favorite Spice of all time, though, is Paprika.
Paprika, you have made me the happiest Spice in the world. That's
Bachelor Party,
it's my favorite
Tom
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks movie.
1982.
I don't know why people don't bring that up when they bring up Tom Hanks. I love that movie.
I was looking at a questionnaire. Everybody's putting out these questionnaires during the time of the quarantine on Facebook. What are your top 10 this? What are your top 10 that? And one of the questions was, what's your favorite Tom Hanks movie? And I was the only person in all of the answers that I saw that put Bachelor Party. That's my favorite Tom Hanks movie. You're old when you can remember when Tom Hanks was a comedy actor.
Oh, Bosom Buddies.
Yes, Bosom Buddies, Splash, Bachelor Party, even Big.
Splash, that came out in 84.
Mm-hmm.
I would never have guessed that. I thought it came out later.
I remember well. I was 12, and it showed Daryl Hannah naked. So
yeah,
it's kind of embedded in my brain.
They Bosom Buddies. We were talking before the show. Originally that show it was My Life. The theme.
Billy Joel.
Yeah,
Billy Joel. Talking about Billy Joel.
And then when it went to syndication, they took it off. I guess they didn't want to give him rights anymore to the song. But yeah, I love Bosom Buddies.
Is Tom Hanks the greatest actor of our generation?
Oh, jeez. People like Tom Hanks a lot more than I do.
I would say he is. But I've also always said Harrison Ford, he's my favorite.
Uh-huh.
Harrison Ford, if you look at his movies and the way he acts, he's just himself in every movie. And you know who else was that way? John Wayne.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford is the John Wayne of our generation. And I hate the fact that he's almost 80 because I don't know how much longer he's got. But boy, I've always loved watching Harrison Ford no matter what he does.
I can't name 5, outside of Star Wars, 5 Harrison Ford movies.
Oh, that's too bad, Jay. Kind of ashamed of you.
Well, that's not ashamed. I think that should be a thing of like if you're going to put an argument for a greatest generation, actor of our generation.
I would go.
Denzel is there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That guy can't do anything wrong. Morgan Freeman.
I'm sorry. I like his voice, but I just remember him from Electric Company. That's how old I am.
I do too. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's to me. I'm like, all right, he's all right. Denzel's the guy, though.
I wish I could say the sisters left Andy Dufresne alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's top 5 for me. Jay Foster.
Top 5 all time. Shawshank.
Yeah, Shawshank's number 5 on that list.
Seen it plenty of times. It was.
Is it top 5 for you?
No.
What an incredible movie.
No, it's all right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay. I mean, it's good.
Well,
It's one of those movies that if it's on TNT, which it's on all the time, you leave it up. Yeah, you won't turn it off.
right.
But there's a lot of movies out there that I haven't seen that people are like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I've never seen any of the Bournes.
I haven't either.
I've never seen a Matrix.
Those are good.
I've never seen, what's the Harrison Ford movie that he killed his wife? And
Double Zone?
No. He's the doctor. He's the doctor.
What Lies Beneath?
Whatever.
I think
That's a Tom Clancy or whatever else, isn't it? I don't know.
I know the movie you're talking about. You know, Harrison Ford's made 30 or 40 or 50 movies. I've seen most of them, but not all of them.
I guess I shouldn't say I can't name 5 because you have the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom movies of Harrison Ford. Other than that, I
Blade Runner?
never saw it.
Oh, great movie. Great movie.
I don't know. I don't think Harrison Ford is. I don't have him up as high as you do.
No?
No. We got a few things to talk about. We're going to have a phone call at 12:30 from Jake from Elite Sportsbook. At 1:20, we're going to talk to Bilal Muhammad of UFC. He's supposed to fight at UFC 249. His opponent is out because of injury, so they haven't announced anything. And the crazy thing about this is Dana White's saying that he has secured an island, so we're going to be able to talk to Bilal about that as well. We've got things to talk about. We need to talk about what we think baseball's coming back, you and me. Because now they're saying maybe July 1st, and everyone's going down to Arizona in May. But we'll talk about that as well. We get a look at the NFL, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame has announced its all-decade team of the 2010s. So we're going to break that down as well. And Tom Brady went on the Players Tribune, wrote a very lengthy, I don't know what you want to call it, diary entry.
Looks like he typed it. He didn't write it.
Well, I think he wrote it and someone typed it for him.
Got it.
And he put it on there. And this is kind of like the prequel of his interview tomorrow with Howard Stern.
He's going on the Howard Stern show?
He's going on Howard Stern tomorrow, Tom Brady is. I'm not a huge Howard Stern fan. I'll listen tomorrow because I think he's going to open up a little bit more than he's used to. The Patriot way of we're moving on to next week, that type of thing. I think that's going to be off, and I think that's going to be maybe by the way he wrote here that he's going to be able to tell his side of the story. Mm-hmm. And maybe it won't. Maybe he'll do the mature thing for his side and just say like, I wanted to try to create my own legacy. I don't know, but
right.
Hopefully we get to find out. So I will listen tomorrow to Howard Stern. Do you listen to Howard Stern?
Back when he first made a splash, what are we talking about? 1990s. Yeah. He had such shock value to his shows that a lot of the buddies I was hanging out with, they kind of loved Howard Stern. I always thought he was kind of a dirty old man, but it was entertaining. I remember Beetlejuice. What was some of the other characters he had on his show?
I don't know. I mean,
it was entertaining, but I'm talking about Tom Brady here. I consider myself a baseball expert.
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself pretty knowledgeable about football. Basketball, I'm not that educated in. Why did Tom Brady go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Well,
hasn't this book already been written? Joe Namath, at the end of his career, goes to the L.A. Rams. Joe Montana, at the end of his career, goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Jerry Rice, at the end of his career, goes to, the Denver Broncos or Seahawks? Who'd Rice go with?
That's a great question.
And, it never worked out for him. Nobody ever won anything. And in the end, all it does is it makes a loyal husband who's been married to his wife for 60 years. On the day before he dies, he cheats on his wife. Now, what does that do to the entire 60 years of his marriage? Puts a shadow over it. Tom Brady is New England's favorite son. Jerry Rice was San Francisco's favorite son. At the end of their career, for what? They go out and they try to hang on for another year or two with an extra team.
Your analogy's off.
The risks are much worse than the rewards, Jay Foster.
I agree with you, but the individuals and sports world doesn't agree with you. Okay?
Because they like a train wreck.
We had Derek Levasseur on. He lives in Rhode Island. He's a Patriot guy. Like he's legit. He's just like, I feel hurt. He's upset. But I said to him, I go, all right, Tom Brady signs a one-day contract to retire Patriot. He's like, I'm in. He's like, I'll be in attendance. If I had this is my unpopular sports opinion. I hate one-day contracts. If you go on, you go on. It's fine. You can go in the Hall of Fame as a Patriot, but I hate that he got to retire as a Patriot.
Mm-hmm.
He left.
Yeah.
Same thing with any of them.
That's what I'm
Emmitt
saying.
Smith left the Cowboys.
And does that tarnish any part of his reputation in Boston?
None. No, because no one's going to be upset with him. Look what he did for 20 years, 6 Super Bowl titles.
Look what that man who was married to his wife for 60 years did, and on the 60th year, first day, he cheats on her. Now,
the sports world is different because the sports world is forgiving. Look at A-Rod. Now all of a sudden he's this respected dude, and he was a cheater.
if you and I were best friends for 30 years, and I never did you wrong once, and on that day after the 30th year, I did something horribly wrong to you, you'd probably forgive me. But wouldn't our friendship be better if I didn't do that?
Yeah.
Okay, wouldn't the love that Tom Brady has from New England be better if he walked off the field for the last time in a Patriots jersey and never played for anybody else in his career? He had that. He had that in his hands. He doesn't need money. He doesn't need fame. He certainly doesn't need any more Super Bowl rings, although he'd probably love to have them. The thing that he still has now is pedigree. All right? Pedigree. A guy who, you know why George Brett's so loved in Kansas City? Never wore another uniform. Could you imagine in 1993 when he retired, if he'd have gone and played one season for the Milwaukee Brewers, wouldn't have been the same? My opinion.
Speaking of someone who did their entire season, Al Klein passed away, 22 years as a Tiger.
Al Kaline did?
Kaline, yeah.
Hall
passed
of Famer,
away.
baby.
22 years as a Tiger.
You know what my favorite Al Kaline story is?
What's that?
When he would sign an autograph. Here's how he'd sign it. I can't do it here because you can't see on. He'd sign Al, A-L, and then he'd just put the letter K and a straight line after that. Al Kaline.
That is not true.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
He just K line because that's his name.
K-Line.
All right.
Wouldn't you do that if your name was K-Line?
That is not
If you're
true,
signing
Jimmy.
100 autographs,
I am not buying that. You're just telling that story.
Well, you don't have to buy it. I'm giving it to you for free because it's the
No.
truth. The truth will set you free, Jay Foster.
You're out of your mind.
K-Line. You can look it up.
No. I think
Rest in peace, Al Kaline.
Yes.
You seem like a nice guy.
Mr. Tiger. Now, I think going back to the Tom Brady thing, and I guess we'll kind of figure out more. I think he's vindictive. I think he's mad. I think he's bit his tongue for years.
What is he so mad at?
I think he had to fall on the sword for the whole Deflategate thing. They basically he's mad that Kraft agreed to all the punishment they had. He's mad that it made it sound like it was all his fault.
All Tom Brady's fault.
Yeah.
I think everybody could see through that. I mean, he was a piece of the puzzle. I think that, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Did the Patriots not want to re-sign him?
No, they wanted to.
Were they offering equal money to what he was getting other places?
That I don't. That's probably Kraft and whatever else between them. He doesn't. They can't give him the weapons he needs.
Right.
He's not going to win with that team. He wasn't going to. He didn't. Even as good as that defense was, look where they were for the first 11 weeks. They were up there being talked about with the 85-86 Bears and the 2003, Baltimore Ravens defense, and they just didn't have the weapons, and they're not going to. I mean,
they still made it to the second round of the playoffs?
Yes.
It's a pretty good team.
Because the defense did it, but I mean, they can't score. If he can't score, he's 40-some years old, right?
I think he's 43.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to what the quarterback whisperer Bruce Arians. He basically probably gets to bring his own personal trainer with him. They're probably going to open up the doors so that he can film whatever he wants for his studio, 199 Productions. He gets to do whatever he wants. Whereas before, you think the Patriots can do that? The only film the Patriots are doing is other people's practices.
How long will he play with the Bucs, and will they win?
Well, okay, NFC South, he's got to deal with the Saints. And the NFC is a lot tougher than...
Drew Brees is on his way out.
Yeah, well, and the NFC is a lot tougher, I would assume we would agree, than the AFC. The NFC West is a very good conference. NFC North is good.
You're talking about those individual divisions.
Yeah, but I mean, getting to the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's not easy to do.
It's easier in the AFC, you're saying?
Well, he could definitely win the AFC East.
Well,
that was certain.
The Super Bowl goes through Kansas City next year.
It sure does.
I would agree with you. I think the NFC is a harder route to get to the Super Bowl in. And I don't see how the Bucs are going to, get there with Tom Brady. You think he'd want to go to a team where he was going to win it, was it 7th Super Bowl? He's won 6?
Yeah, he won 6.
I have to give it to him. He's won 6. I've argued this with a lot of my buddies in the aughts, the first decade of the 2000s. I always thought Peyton Manning was a better quarterback than Tom Brady. He seemed like he was more cerebral, more in tune with the game. And just like Dan Marino and Joe Montana in the 80s, I always said if you take Dan Marino and put him on the San Francisco 49ers, he wins at least 4 Super Bowls, maybe more. I always thought Marino was a better technical quarterback than Montana, but Montana played on a better team. Same with Brady and Manning. I always thought Manning was a better quarterback. You put Manning on the New England Patriots, he's going to win you just as many, if not more, Super Bowls than Tom Brady. But he got injured, he retired earlier, and Brady kept on winning. So I got to give a shout out to Tom Brady. He's the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
I think Andy Schultz will like to hear that. He's the biggest Tom Brady fan in the world.
Is he still a fan, even though, is he a Tom Brady fan or a Patriots fan?
He's a Michigan fan.
No.
And anybody that even plays a single down for the Michigan Wolverines, Andy Schultz would drink their bathwater for the rest of their life. So,
cool.
Tom Brady wore number 10 in college, didn't he?
I know. He wore 12.
Did he wear 12 at Michigan?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
he
wore
wasn't
12.
if I remember right, he wasn't a standout quarterback at Michigan, was he? They never won the Big Ten with him. I think he was an above-average quarterback in college. He goes to the combine.
Because when they tied for it in '97, right, Greasy was the quarterback for them, right? They tied for the national title then, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Well, we do get a look at Tom Brady because we get a look at the NFL's list of the all-decade team. Plus, we get a look at some other things, but we need to take our first break. And now I got to do what I put the stuff at. You got to eat your
I'm doubling up on the cocktails today. I got my Budweiser, and I also got a shrimp cocktail.
We're in studio with Jimmy Siokas. We're going to talk some more stories and everything else. But first, I want to remind you, Done Right TV and Security Solutions is proud to be your Dish premier local retailer. Use Dish's voice remote to search live TV, over 80,000 on-demand titles, and Netflix at the same time. Done Right has all the products you need to turn your home into a smart home. Not only do they have state-of-the-art products, they even have their own installation experts for TV mounts, wireless networks, home theater, security systems, and more. Call 866-84-RIGHT today to get the package that is right for you. Netflix streaming membership required. Voice remote requires internet-connected Hopper. Restrictions do apply. Once again, that's Done Right TV and Security Solutions, 866-84-RIGHT.
Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Hi, I'm Mark Brenny from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic with a few words about our current situation. Here at Brenny's, we are committed to being safe and responsible for the next foreseeable future. I intend on keeping my bike shop open to service our loyal customers. Keep in mind, motorcycle riding is social isolation. So, we have implemented curbside service for all parts, service, and sales. We will limit access to our buildings to those who need the help. Our employees are inside working on bike repairs, arranging financing for new and used units. We will pick up and or deliver units as necessary. Your best bet is to call on the phone or email our sales department with your requests or concerns. All our inventory is in our website, brennys.com. There's no joke or punchline in this commercial because I don't want to make anybody sick. However, when this thing gets back to normal, and they will, prepare yourself for some truly cutting-edge, tasteless humor from me. Sincerely, Mark Brenny, Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, across from Alcoa, almost.
Escúchame, it is Dan Levatacion, ESPN Radio.
It is funny to have a coach say, no, I didn't mean to call them thugs. I meant to call them slugs. And I just want to officially parse the dumbest possible way we could ever discuss race in sports. Did the old guy mean slugs or thugs? If he meant thugs, racist. If he meant slugs, just good coaching. Maybe he's just old and made a verbal mistake because they fly around a lot and he's old. It is a great defense, though. It really is, because I believe him. I believe that he meant to say slugs.
I mean, it's really the only defense you can go to, right?
Racist!
I'm old. I meant to say slugs.
No, slugs! I'm just old and doddering. I'm not racist. Just old.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Sheedy Family Chiropractic is your choice for chiropractic care in the Quad Cities. Chronic problems, joint pain, or recent injury, don't let pain slow you down. Sheedy Family Chiropractic in Davenport can help decrease your pain and improve range of motion, keeping your busy life moving. Same-day appointments available most days for new patients and $20 sports physicals. Call today or visit sheedychiro.com. Chirody.com. That's SHEEDY Chiro.com. Sheedy Family Chiropractic, getting you back to work, play, and life.
The Will Kane Show.
Joe Judge became head coach of the New York Giants. As I walked up today in the hallways, Mike A gave me that good to see you smile, but it's more like a wince because Nuno was nearby. We weren't really worried about anger so much as hurt feelings.
It was an apologetic look, like you'd see when you know somebody's had a rough day, like, how you holding up, big guy? How you doing, champ?
Wait a minute. We're all about honesty here. No one's like that. We want to see each other miserable. Like, that's what everyone was hoping for, is that I would be miserable, because it would have just been great for the show, right? Like, I would have to produce this show, and on a Monday after Jason Garrett's just sitting here clapping away, and then I can't even speak.
And just out of curiosity, not for any personal interest of mine or Mike A's or Bubba's, how miserable are you?
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
With countless families staying home, Roto-Rooter wants to remind everyone that paper towels and most disposable wipes are not meant to be flushed. These items take longer to break down when compared with traditional toilet paper. As they make their way down the pipes, they start clogs that lead to blockages and can cause serious damage. If your toilet or pipes do become clogged, please give us a call at 563-388-9900. We are here to help.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away those troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Welcome back to Don't Hassle So Local here on ESPN 1170 AM. Want to thank you all for tuning in. We want to remind you that you can listen to us on your smartphone. Download the app. Wherever you download apps, go to ESPN 1170 AM. You can also listen to ESPN1170AM.com. Click the upper right-hand corner. Listen now. Or you can listen and leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. The NFL is trying to figure out exactly what to do. The draft is coming up. And there was a league-wide meeting, Zoom conference call, whatever else. Have you done Zoom?
With the school district, yeah.
That's what you guys did. What do you mean? Did they all you had to get in, or was it by departments?
My children.
Oh, okay.
They're doing some classwork on what's that Zoom thing. You know, every time I hear that word, I think of that song. What is all I want to do is zoom, and a boom, boom.
Just shake it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rex and Effects.
Yes. He got to make a deal with them, get some money maybe.
I can put it on here. Yeah, so I'm not the one that created Zoom, so I don't know. Have you done anything like I know there's like a thing called House Party app where you've had multiple friends on a Zoom screen and you guys have like talked?
We've had some school meetings.
That's it.
You know, there's multiple people on the screen at one time.
Yeah.
So that seems to be the new hotness. You know, Zoom, House Party app, whatever it is. Those people are making bank right now because it's the only way businesses can communicate.
Is this going to change the way things are from here on out?
Depends on the coronavirus. You know, how long is this thing going to last? How bad is it going to get? And my question, it's the doom and gloom question. I'm not a doctor. This is COVID-19. Does that mean that this is the 19th strand of a coronavirus?
Uh-huh.
Okay. If you know anything about the flus, every season it comes back in a different form. Is this something that we're going to be doing every time school year gets to springtime? I mean, I hate to talk about that, but just, we're fighting this with all of our might right now. Everybody's staying home, doing a good job, sterilizing. But could this be an annual event? Scary.
So yesterday I started off the show, just kind of gave not a rant. And you know what? I want to say thanks to the people out there listening that reached out and said, like, either one, are you doing okay? And it wasn't like I was like battling depression or whatever else, but it's just some things that, just got off my chest. And people saying, like, some say, I agree with what you're saying. Some said, just stay in there, hang in there, all that stuff. And then I had a nice conversation, and I do suggest this. I really do. Talk to your kids. And don't. Okay, so yesterday I was saying, like, you got to stop yelling at people through Facebook, all right? Telling people what to do. You got to stop telling people what to do.
T-Roy in the house.
Hold on a second. But the thing that gets me is when they sit there and they do these things, right? Is that the way they talk to their kids? Do they tell their kids, this is matter of fact, rah, rah, rah? Do you understand what I'm saying? When some people are like, you need to be shelter in place right now. Everybody that's not doing it, you're wrong. And it's fine to have your opinion. I said that yesterday. But I was thinking about that. Do they talk to their kids that way? Do they not let their kids talk back? Because really,
no, we beat them. No, what?
Really think about this. Like, hold on a second.
Okay.
I didn't quite understand your question. Can you restate it as if I'm a 6-year-old?
No, if you're making a post on Facebook, and it's like, listen, people, stay in place. You're part of the problem, and yelling about the governor not having to stay in place. All right, they're just yelling on a keyboard. That's my sound for a keyboard. Okay,
that's pretty good keyboard.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Do that again.
Yeah, but I said when I did that, I did it with 2 index fingers. But I use all 10
you
fingers.
do? You don't? See, I chopstick.
Okay, well I don't.
Well, you were a teacher.
I'm wondering if that's the way they talk to their kids. If they're just like, here's how you do these things. I don't know. For some reason, I changed my voice and I have to point or whatever else. Like, rah, rah, rah. But because I talked to my daughter last night.
I mean, you know this, right? Inherently, people are meaner and tougher on Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media things are going on to bitch because they don't have to look anybody in the face.
Yes.
They're not going to get a knuckle sandwich.
Well, even that. It's just like if you are, let's just say you and I are disagreeing about something, we're much less likely to be mean and nasty about it if we're face to face.
Absolutely.
Just because you're looking someone in the eye going, all right, well, they don't look like a bad person. Or, hey, you really shouldn't do that. Well, I disagree. Okay. Agree to disagree.
But on Facebook,
that's usually how, but on Facebook, there's nobody in front of you. You're like, you guys are a bunch of damn idiots. I do the thing with you, Jay. But you're right. Listen, I'm not here to tell anybody else what to do. I was talking to my buddy Dean about it this morning. You got people that probably aren't taking it serious enough, and you got people that are taking it to the nth degree, so they're getting crazy. Yeah. Somewhere in the middle is right where we need to be. Just be smart. Yeah, I mean, listen, we all have to go get groceries. Sorry,
I went and got my 80-year-old mom and dad groceries this morning.
What are you going to do? Have Hy-Vee deliver it? How safe is that?
That's what I told my parents. They were talking about that. And I said, no offense to Hy-Vee. You guys are wonderful. You guys are superheroes right now. Everybody out there that has what's called an essential job, I love you. Thank you. But I live 3 minutes from my parents. I'm a school teacher, so I'm at home right now. And I told my parents, I said, just let me go get your groceries. You
trust your you know who you've been in contact with, as opposed to the Hy-Vee delivery person, which
that's exactly
fine.
Right.
It might not even be their fault. Someone could have came in the store and touched a box that they didn't even know about. But that's the deal. You know at least you as an individual what exactly you've been doing. So when you're going to see your 8-year-old parents, that's the thing. And like I said, everybody, you know what you are doing. Do as much as you can. Don't worry about everybody else so much. I don't know. I listen. You can't police the world.
What's new with the governor in the state of Iowa?
Well, she didn't give us 2 hours notice for anything today, as far as I know.
That's good.
Like for that, I'll just give her a big giant mouth kiss.
I'd say this, and I just let my daughter talk. She's 10, and I said, "What are your thoughts and concerns?" And she doesn't listen to the show during the day. She doesn't watch me on Facebook. She doesn't have a Facebook account.
What kind of kid's that? You tell her she should watch every day.
I know. And yesterday, kind of, I think maybe I alluded to something.
So if you need to get on here and start watching.
But her thing that I took away, and from the mouth of babes, is she just said one of the things she said was, "I don't want to watch the news anymore."
I'm with her.
She goes, it's never good news, and it just scares me. I feel like they're just trying to scare me, and that is a 10-year-old and I tell you with all honesty, I don't tell her any of my political opinions. I don't tell her the way she should act, think, or do whatever else. I just want her to be the best girl she can be on that day, every day. Be the best Sophia you can be.
You're a good dad. See, I'm already grooming a 4-year-old.
Be the best Sophia you can be every day. That's what I tell my kids, and I tell them the same thing. And you guys have heard me say this on the show. Are you proud of yourself? And if they say yes, and I say, good. Don't worry about anybody else's opinion. Make sure you're proud of yourself. That's the most thing. So from her own mouth, she just said, I don't like watching the news. There's nothing good on it, and I feel like they're trying to scare me.
Well, and for an example, just the one nightly news that's always ends up being on in my house because whatever. Lester Holt. I don't think Lester's a bad guy. Whatever. I don't really have an opinion about Lester. He seems like nice enough. But the show itself, as you lead into the NBC nightly news, because I just remember that music, and I think all of them are roughly the same. The music going in, dun, 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 it's literally the Death Star when they're it's like some sort of it's.
You're right. It's got a
tonight in America, death tolls rise in New York. What is going on? What's the answer from Washington? And and it is just like this ominous music over everything, and I'm like, I mean, it's on purpose.
It is. It's shock value.
Listen, they know that. And that's why I get an argument with Amy all the time, because obviously the journalism side of her. She's like, let's see, Twitter's just as bad as the journalism, and you go on Twitter all the time. And I'm like, I'm just leaving the room because now you're annoying me. But she's right. Twitter's the same thing, but the guy in Twitter isn't necessarily there trying to he's not selling ads.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I try to explain to her. But there is a difference. You're comparing apples with oranges. Yeah, the dude on Twitter might not be correct, and he's just ranting and raving. I had to choose if I'm going to listen to that guy. But when I'm watching the nightly news, and I know for a fact that this person is reaching, or this thing is reaching however many millions of people, and the message is this. And by the way, I feel that some of it's a biased message sometimes.
I'll tell you what. I have a theory on exactly what you're talking about. It's called the spicy food theory. I don't know if you know much about the human body and the taste buds, but as the older you get, the more your taste buds wear down, the more you need to spice your food up. Maybe a little extra salt, Tabasco sauce, whatever.
You got to make it hotter too.
And as humans, we have a threshold of stimulation, and once we've been at that threshold for a while, we need more. And that's just the nature of humanity. And now we have these medias that give us this news, and people aren't going to tune in to see that a farmer painted his barn red. They want to see this. It's called shock value. The music industry is the same way.
Yeah.
You know, Elvis Presley wasn't allowed to show his hips in 1955 on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Janet Jackson showed a boob at the Super Bowl.
And then 50 years later, we got Marilyn Manson making these shock value videos. Look how much we've, in my opinion, digressed. And other people, we're now liberated. However you want to look at it. Every generation, every newscaster, every music artist, they
call it art, though.
It's shock value. They have to go further and make it more intense to sell their product.
Make it more provocative, if you will.
Just like the taste buds in an old person, it gets worn down. You need more spice.
I mean, along those lines, Jay, look at porn in the 50s as opposed to the porn in the 80s, the porn now.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Pornography's been around forever, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the old photos were different than even the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It changes.
I have no idea what this is going.
I'm just saying it does. No, he's absolutely right.
It's just more shock value.
You think about it, you had Playboy, right? Oh, it's a gentleman's magazine. It's a few naked photos. You really didn't see a lot, and then all of a sudden here comes Larry Flint, Hustler.
Yeah.
Okay. He took it to the next level.
He named that magazine after Jay Foster, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, he is a hustler.
We got to take a phone call real quick from Jake from Elite Sportsbook. Probably all right, here you go.
Jake, did you call in to talk about porn or sports?
No, don't. Oh. All right, ESPN 1170.
Hi, this is Jake with Elite Sportsbook. How's it going?
Good, buddy.
Good. You called in at an odd time. Jake, how are you doing, my friend?
Good. I was watching online. I was looking for a stopping point, and I thought I'd jump in at this moment.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Sorry, man.
You did a good job.
You never know when I'm going to bring up stuff.
What's going on out there at EliteSportsbook.com?
Well, we currently have a promotion going on now. If you bet on the college football championship winner, we'll give you a $5 free bet. So any amount wagered on the winner of the college football championship gets you a $5 free bet. That does end today. Today's the last day of that promotion. For promotions, that's one of the new parts here. We also added some more football futures to the site. So we have the NCAA football regular season wins, including Iowa. They're up there as well. So they're coming in at 7.5.
Well, you did not need to even give us that number. It's been 7.5 for the last decade. It legitimately has been 7. It's like that is going to be written on the tombstone of Iowa football if that ever were to happen. Just 7.5 over under.
Right. You never know how their season's going to go, so just put them about as average.
Well, it's going to depend on the starting quarterback who we're thinking is going to be Petrus, correct?
Yeah.
Is that Greek? That sounds Greek.
Yes.
Yeah, he played
Tijuana
in California.
California at Emily's high school.
Emily's high school, yep.
Same high school as Aaron Rodgers.
That's right.
See, we're getting pedigree.
Yeah. Jake, do you guys have anything up yet for UFC 249?
UFC 249, the odds changed and some of the fighters changed, so that is down. But 250 is up on the site.
Okay, because some of the fires. Okay, so because some of the fire. Yes, one. I forget to.
Hey, Jake.
Bilal is supposed to do it. Go on.
Are there any over-unders on when the pandemic ends?
Ooh.
Oh, the risk team's really struggling with that one.
I'm just saying. I mean, seriously, that's something I would like to make a bet on.
You can bet on anything in Vegas, can't you?
Yeah, can the risk team come up with that, like a July 1st, before or after for Major League Baseball?
I think baseball's starting in May, baby.
Okay, no, I'm talking about the season. Baseball is going to come back in May. Yeah.
Hope.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? You think it's going to?
From what I saw, from the little I saw on print and whatever else, listen, it's a way to get them back on the field. They're practicing distancing. Nobody will be in the stands. They're going to mic people up, Jay, like you had said yesterday.
Oh, right on.
It's on there. 7-inning doubleheaders to get the games in. And I love it. Let's get some baseball rolling. Let's get something so we can feel a little normal. And like I said, they're going to be testing the players. They're going to keep the players, obviously as fine as it can be. And now on the negative side of it, I heard the argument against, which I saw on Twitter, is a person's like, "Oh, this is great about the social distancing, but you can't tell me that such and such ball player is not going to go out and try to get some strange during this time period."
But even if he gets some strange or not, baseball is the one sport, other than golf, I guess, where you're so far away from the other players. If there's a pig pen halo hanging around you, the coronavirus, you're still out in center field.
I mean, the thing you worry about is when you're tagging a runner.
Yeah.
Listen, there's some stuff. That's why you're like, okay, you're testing these guys. You know what you at least you know what you have. I like it. I hope, and it's not just MLB. It's MLB Players Association and going in with this as well.
So you said 7-inning doubleheaders.
Yep.
How many games do you think they'll get for this season? They're going to cut it in half.
I still think we have to miss some games.
Oh, of course.
I mean,
we can't get
guys,
162 games, even if you do 7-inning doubleheaders.
I think we get 120 games in if we start in May. Does that sound fair to you guys? If we're doing these 7-inning doubleheaders?
Yeah. If we get to go in May.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we get 120. We lose what, 42 games? Is that right?
Yeah.
Baseball purists are going to lose their mind over this.
Fine, lose your mind.
Hey,
I'm sorry, baseball purist.
Desperate times.
We have a pandemic going on that we've never seen the likes of. Okay, baseball purists, stick your pin up your butt. I don't want to hear it, man.
I'm a baseball purist.
Well, and I hope I didn't offend you.
No, I think that some baseball is better than no baseball.
Thank you, and that's what I think.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
They're talking about using electronic strike zone.
Yes, and that is too. That's the other thing I saw. So that's going to limit the umpires.
No mound visits from the catcher or pitcher.
Yep.
You mentioned 7-inning doubleheaders.
By the way, this is pissing off the union of the umpire union.
I get. I can imagine.
They are losing it because I'm going to tell you what, people are going to love this electronic strike zone, and we all know who the worst major league umpire is when it comes to Joe West.
This is you want to hear my favorite out of all these things that they're talking about doing? Changing the rules. Players sitting in the empty stands, not in the dugouts.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine the storylines be like, such and such doesn't sit by such and such because they don't like each other?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
This is amazing,
Jake. This brings things back. Now, you guys? Nobody can come in the casino. Period. Correct? Is that? Am I correct on that assumption?
Yep. Not even me at this point. I'm working from home.
So the mobile site's going to be huge when baseball gets going.
Yeah. Well, at this point, we don't know. Is it going to be sports back up and running or the casino doors opening? So we're hoping this MLB rumor or effort to start in May is going to go through, and it looks to have some CDC backing. So.
Well, they're going to be playing all the games in Arizona, by the way, too. Yeah. In case I didn't mention that. So that way you're eliminating this travel. Everybody's there. Everybody's in one area, facilities. Yeah.
And there's no mound visits, you said?
None.
They probably have a rule there's no bench clearing brawls either?
Well, we're going to have to see how that's going to go.
Won't the Astros just love that they don't have to get in fights now?
It's going to be hard to get from the bench when you're up in the stands.
This is probably a good thing for the Astros. It's going to take the spotlight off of them.
Listen, the Astros are the biggest fan of COVID-19 of any team ever.
Probably.
Yeah. The Astros are definitely. So, yeah, you said 249 because all the fight UFC 249 is off, 250 is. But we'll be able to talk to you next week about 249 because that that event is until April 18th. We are going to talk in the next hour to Bilal Muhammad, a fighter who's going to be on that event for UFC 249. And I'm interested because Dana White recently came out and said that he purchased, well, he's securing, I shouldn't say purchase, securing a private island to have fights on. So
that way it's not in any jurisdiction, right?
Could that be Credit Island or Arsenal Island? I mean, what kind of island are we talking about?
I don't know. It just says that he's going to do that, and he's going to start flying them in and do international fights from there. So so that he can get that going. Anything else out there that you got up and running at EliteSportsbook.com, Jake?
I just really encourage people to go on and look at all the football futures we released. We've got a whole list of stuff up now, including NFL season, regular season wins, teams to reach the playoff, regular season, passing, rushing, receiving, yards, leaders, all kinds of fun stuff. So we're continuing to find some bets out there, even in these unprecedented times, and encourage everyone to follow us on social media at Elite Sportsbook for the most up-to-date releases of the odds. They're also putting together kind of a teaser here, games of the year for football going into fall. So it'll be some really talked about games of the year, and you can bet special props on those. So
hold on a second. Games of the year. So you look at the schedule and you bet on whether or not that's considered the game of the year?
No, essentially the risk team will go, okay, a big game of the year would be Iowa versus Iowa State. So we're going to put together a special list of props for that game in particular.
Thank you. All right.
Kind of like mini Super Bowl props for certain highlighted games of the year.
That's all right. So it's like over under how many times Kirk Ferentz chaws on his big league chew, and it's in the 100,000s. So. Right. Gotcha. Jake, thank you so much for calling in. I want you to stay safe and sanitized, my friend.
Same with you guys.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you soon, Jake. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
You guys, I just came up with this, too. I'm going to write a song.
Okay, you write a song during the break because we had to take a quick commercial break.
Is it a potty break?
And then
all right, you can go potty. All right, everybody. I just left here today. Van's Pizza and More out by the Plex is open and rocking and rolling for delivery and carry out. Open at 11 a.m. to 9 every day. I delivered some pizza, so thank you to the folks out there.
Were you delivering today?
Yeah, I delivered.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I'm sorry, and I texted you, bothering you. You didn't have to come in. I'm sorry.
I told you I was going to come at noon. I was going to be late.
I don't remember you saying that. Were we drinking?
Me and Mark busted out 20
Were we
pizzas.
drinking?
Maybe. I don't know.
All right, I'm sorry.
Busted out 20 pizzas. Had a 20 pizza pickup. I had some deliveries. It was great.
I
man.
apologize. All right.
Anyway, 563-232-1396. And Vans has all these specials for you during the COVID-19 crisis from Japan, from China. Straight for you. So it's $5 for a burger basket, $7 for a double cheeseburger basket, $5 personal pizza, $7 for a personal specialty, $9 for any medium, and $12 for any large. And that's right. Open once again daily, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. That number, 563-232-1396. Vans Pizza More, 5023 Competition Drive in Bettendorf.
This is Lobo from Lobo Salsa. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-500-8980. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-500-8980. That's 1-800-500-8980. 1-800-500-8980.
You're right on par in your
M&M Golf Cars, your authorized club car dealer, invites you to check out the new Onward by Club Car. Onward's all-new accessories personalize nearly every detail to fit your lifestyle. Customize yours at mmgolfcars.com. 0% financing for 24 months through the end of the month. M&M Golf Cars, Bettendorf.
Right on par in your M&M Golf Car. M&M Golf Cars.
Sí. Very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Roy who is feeling older every day. And I think this is universal for people in sports, that you sort of can calendar your own age by guys you saw growing up playing when you loved sports, having kids who are now playing sports. But Roy has never felt older than he did during the break when, very sadly, he just said to me, Frank Gore's kid has enrolled at Southern Miss, and it's the first time you can remember an active athlete of any sort having a kid, but it's only because Frank Gore has been in the league 4 yards at a time since 1982.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Why would you when you still get 4 yards?
Frank Gore Jr. is going to put it on the poll, Antonio. Is Frank Gore Jr. going to retire from football sooner than Frank Gore Sr.?
The Dan Lebitard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Golick and Wingo.
Heavy thoughts from Kevin Durant. The quote that obviously making all the headlines. It was a Wall Street Journal article. Some days I hate the NBA.
Nobody cares. I put it this way really quick. When you're walking down the hallway of your work today and you walk by an acquaintance and you say, hey, how you doing? And they actually stop and start telling you how you're doing. You know what you're doing? You're going, just being nice. I want to keep walking. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your problems, right?
Golick and Wingo. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
This is Golick and Wingo.
With Antonio Brown. I certainly believe in the idea of you can come back. You've never gone too far where you can't come back home. That contrition is really possible, but with him, it's been this sort of seesaw for a while now of sorries followed by more outbursts, sorries followed by more attacks on other people. And so until I see some sort of stringer pattern, I don't really think it's responsible by what he's saying.
Golick and Wingo. Mornings on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Sensitivity, understanding, and a tradition of kindness and caring. It's so important when a family loses a loved one. Call on us, Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, for all your service needs. You have our single-minded attention to every detail. With a range of choices and services available, our professionalism, and our deepest sympathy. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
The Quad City Sports Leader is always in the palm of your hands. Download the ESPN 1170 app today and never miss a thing. From the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, everybody, back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right Satellite and Dish. And you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, a local on AM 1170.
Yesterday, the NFL and the Pro Football Hall of Fame unveiled the 2010s All-Decade Team. There are 8 unanimous selections. 8.
Can I ask you a question really quick?
Sure.
Do they just do one of every position, or do they have multiple quarterbacks?
Multiple quarterbacks.
How many quarterbacks?
2 quarterbacks.
Got it.
2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers, and a flex. 2 tight ends, 4 offensive tackles, 4 offensive guards, 2 centers, 4 defensive ends, 4 defensive tackles, 6 linebackers, 3 cornerbacks, 3 safeties, 2 defensive backs, 2 punters, 2 kickers, 2 punt returns, 2 kick returners. 8 unanimous selections.
How many people voting?
I don't. NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame. I know I'd have to dig deeper in to figure out exactly.
What would you guess? A dozen?
I would say it's probably more than that.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah.
So who we got here?
2 offensive skill players were named unanimous selections. 2 offensive linemen were named unanimous selections. 3 defensive players and 1 specialist.
When you say offensive skill players, does that include quarterback? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Well, Tom Brady was
Tom Brady, number 1.
And I'll have to say...
Tom Brady is on the list, and Tom Brady was a unanimous selection. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning's not on the team.
That's the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he was there in the league.
He was, but he wasn't. His greatest years weren't that.
So now he
retired in 2015.
Let me share this up. This finished up in 2020.
Yeah,
we're talking from 2010 to 2020.
19.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. The other one I think is probably going to be on that selection. A unanimous decision in that selection.
Unanimous.
Other than Tom
Is it a
Brady.
receiver?
It is not a receiver, and it's not a quarterback. It is a running back.
It is a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Running backs of that decade. Is it Adrian Peterson?
It is Adrian Peterson.
That's a good pick. Good job.
Tom Brady, Adrian Peterson. The other skilled players, the other quarterback was Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, that makes sense. Let me guess the running backs.
The three other running backs.
There's three running backs.
There's four total. You've already gotten Adrian Peterson.
Shady McCoy.
Yes.
The oldest guy ever.
Yep.
Frank Gore.
Yep.
Okay.
Gore made that team?
He sure did.
Well, I mean,
Isn't
look
he
what.
third
But
isn't he third on the all-time?
Third on the all-time list. He's
Mm-hmm.
still playing. That's how he's on it.
Wow.
I
forgot about him. Is he coming back next year
He
for
wasn't
Buffalo?
in there long enough.
Yes.
LaDainian Tomlinson? Or no?
No.
No? All right. He was, his best stuff was before the
Yeah, it was like
2010.
2006 was his.
Man, I'm trying to think. There's one more running back in that list.
Yes.
My brain's fried. I can't think of anybody.
Man, let me think about this. Hold on.
It's fine.
Man, Jay, this is really driving me nuts.
It's fine. We'll come back to it. Can you guess the four wide receivers on this list?
I think that's going to be easy.
Okay.
I think Julio Jones.
Check. Yep.
Calvin Johnson.
Yep.
Ooh,
absolutely.
good one. Calvin, I forgot about. Is it Megatron? Is that his nickname?
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Absolutely.
And AJ Green? No.
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 Trying to think of when
This
people
is
retired.
wide receivers, not tight ends.
Wide receivers.
Man, this is tough. Julio Jones.
I give up, Jay Foster.
Let's go with Larry Fitz. Give me a hint.
84.
Randy Moss?
No.
84.
I think that's the number.
What's his number? His
Pittsburgh
jersey?
Steelers.
Oh, Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Here's the flex. The flex that they got it for the 2010s makes me happy because they should just name this. Everybody has had this guy on their fantasy football team at one point. Everybody. I don't care. I will be shocked if someone out there on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread says like,
Let me guess.
not me.
Is he short?
I think so. I don't think
Is
so.
he a small guy?
No.
Oh, is he a running back?
Yeah. But a flex running back.
All right. I'm going with Darren Sproles.
It's Darren Sproles.
All right.
Everybody has had Darren Sproles on their fantasy football team at one point.
But he used to be like a joystick.
Yes, he's the
he
flex.
was good. All right. All right.
Tight
all right, all
ends?
right. Well, Gronk.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to say Gronk.
I'm going
Kelsey?
to say Witten.
Travis Kelce.
There you go. Cheese.
Cheese.
But yeah, Kelsey's had a good run the last 5 years. But
kick-
Witten's years were probably before 2010, his best years. Yeah. All right.
I think this was a stretch for a specialist. Tyreek Hill as punt returner.
Ooh, I like it.
Really?
How many
But
years
how many
did he
he
have? Yeah.
return? Though?
Same thing with.
See, I don't think it's Tyreek Hill as a returner. Like
No.
when you think of all-time great returners,
Devin
I think
Hester's
of
on
Devin
the list.
Hester,
He's
and I
on
think
the
of
list.
Deion
Kick
Sanders,
returner. And he wasn't. And oddly enough, he wasn't unanimous. Devin Hester wasn't.
Eric Bieniemy.
Cordarrelle
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Patterson was on the list as a kick returner. Like I don't know why. The
Cordell Patterson doesn't impress me.
No.
At all.
Here's the list of guys that were unanimous. You got Tom Brady. You got Adrian Peterson. Offensive tackle Joe Thomas. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Marshall Yanda, offensive guard.
Dude,
No-brainer.
of course.
J.J. Watt, defensive end.
Okay.
Aaron Donald, defensive tackle. Von Miller, linebacker.
How many Cowboy offensive lines are on there? Tyron
Justin
Smith and Zach
Tucker
Martin better be
is
on that
unanimous
list.
as
When
a
did
kicker.
Von Miller
Is
start playing,
Tyron Smith on that list?
Tyron Smith on that list.
He would be a
Yes,
tackle.
he is. Offensive tackle.
What,
He
what
is.
about in guards? What about Zach Martin?
He is on that list.
What about centers? Did Jason Frederick make it?
Did not.
Or Travis Frederick?
No.
See, that's who made it for
Alex
centers?
Mack and Marquise Pouncey.
I'll take Frederick over Pouncey any day of the week, but that's fine. Whatever.
I
At
just-
least they got two of them on there. Dude, that line, dude just retired because he had that immune system thing. Dude, Frederick.
Didn't Von Miller start in 2014 Wasn't it his first year?
Von Miller's not on there for defensive
He's on
end?
the
He is,
linebacker.
but I'm
Yeah,
saying he
linebacker.
only played half the decade.
He's unanimous.
Yeah, he better have been. Von Miller's a beast.
And he only played half the decade. And he's
Who
only-
is DeMarcus Lawrence on there? Or DeMarcus Ware, I mean?
For a linebacker?
He'd either been linebacker or defensive end.
No, the defensive end is Callis Campbell, Cameron Jordan, Julius Peppers, J.J. Watt. Defensive tackles are Geno Atkins, Fletcher Cox, Aaron Donald, Mikan Sue, linebacker Chandler Jones. I'm always going to say this wrong. Luke Kuechly, thank you. Khalil Mack, Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, Patrick Willis.
Trubisky's not on there?
Cornerbacks Patrick Peterson, Darrell Rivas, Richard Sherman. Safeties are Eric Berry, Earl Thomas, Eric Waddell. Defensive backs Chris Harris Jr., Tyrann Mathieu. The running back that you were looking for is Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, I forgot about him.
How's he not on this
Beast
list?
He's on the
mode.
list. Remember when you were looking for one more running back
Yeah.
before we got to this? Yeah, he's on. That's the fourth running back that made
Pace
it
the rainbow.
to the all-decade team. And
I like most of it. I don't have a problem with it.
Is Lynch going to play next year? He played a little bit this year, didn't he?
he came back for the Seahawks.
I
but
think
no,
he just came back to help
He
out.
didn't. He did not move the needle whatsoever for my intrigue of what. And I wasn't worried about what the Seahawks could do because of him. It's
Did he have the best postseason single run ever?
best postseason.
Was it against the Packers? Was it 2013 when
I
the
thi-
Seahawks won it?
Yeah. Well, what do you mean postseason? Like an actual run from scrimmage?
One run from scrimmage in the postseason. That run he had in that playoff game, and I might be wrong on the
That's
year.
when beast mode became
Yes.
popular. Yeah. No, it's
that was like a Tecmo Bowl run right there.
Who's that?
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
Went nuts.
Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah. Gore deserves to be on it just for those, but I was going to DeMarcus
Is he the
DeMarco
most
Murray would if he would have continued his run, he would have been on there.
Is Gore the most underrated player in the last 20 years?
Pretty much. I mean, he just does it, and he doesn't score a lot of touchdowns. That's what I'm saying. If DeMarco Murray never has that contract dispute, and Dallas doesn't just like let him go, and he gets to play behind that O line for 2-3 more years, who knows what happens?
You think he could catch up with Emmett?
Is Frank
I don't
Gore?
know, but he was good.
Is Frank Gore
Fumbled
the
a little
most seventh round draft pick in fantasy football history?
The most
seventh or eighth, seventh or plus, yeah. Because you're like, he's a backup. You know he's not going to get hurt, and he's there. Listen, I remember when I first started playing fantasy football, Frank Gore was like a top 3 pick.
I mistake him sometimes and call him Al Gore. I'm sorry.
He's
Man, bear pig.
I don't even know I don't want to pretend to know the history of Frank Gore, but wasn't he the running back for that 2003 Miami Hurricanes team?
He was on the Miami
Didn't he hurt his
Hurricanes.
knee
No,
that year?
that was in the bowl game. He hurt his knee. That was Willis McGahee.
Okay.
But he was on. He did play for the Hurricanes. Yeah, Willis McGahee's the one who got his knee blown out by Ohio State in the game, in the championship
I'm gonna
game.
Google Frank Gore.
Frank Gore, yeah, but he was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. That's where he started his career.
Yep.
I want to say he was drafted in 06, Jay. So
And who
maybe 05.
Was it Garcia who was the
05 or
quarterback
6.
back then?
Yeah. It was right about the time T.O. was getting ready to take off from
That's
there
right.
and head to Philly.
That's right.
I know we play the thing for the Levitard show and commercial about Frank Gore. They have a pretty good take on him, whatever else. But let's see,
When was he drafted?
2005.
Okay.
In the 3rd round.
Okay. By the 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the
so-
49ers all-time leader in rushing yards.
I think 07 was the year that I thought that he was going to break out, and I remember he was going pretty high in a lot of the drafts. And I think I had him.
I think T.O. was gone by the time because T.O. played with the Phillies in 04 when they lost to the Pats in the Super Bowl.
Okay, and maybe
So it was
he
just
was
before
gone. Yeah,
that.
it was right around there because he was still might have been in Philadelphia, but he was pulling all his crap where he was working out the driveway, and then
Remember that?
Jerry signed him, and then he went to the Dallas Cowboys,
Cowboys.
and then Parcells said, "Yeah, I'm not working with."
You remember how he pointed the finger at Donovan McNabb for that Super Bowl loss?
Oh yeah,
I got friends in Philadelphia.
that's my quarterback.
That's right.
Well, that was he cried for Romo, and then he it's my quarterback. God, I was so happy the day we got rid of him.
Romo?
No.
Well,
No,
that
T.O.
that too.
I love Romo.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love Romo.
Romo
got way too much
I
criticism.
was a big Cowboys fan. I'm a Chiefs fan now, but growing up in the 70s.
Yeah.
Roger Staubach. You know
That's
how I
it
became a
started.
Cowboys fan?
It was Roger Staubach in my backyard.
I
Had a
love
shoebox full of baseball
Star
cards.
Wars.
Yeah.
Big Star Wars fan. And then shortly after that, the TV released this show called Battlestar Galactica,
I watched
which
it
was
too,
a
yeah.
copycat of
Star Wars.
And I
Yeah.
loved Han Solo. And who was the
Starbuck.
Han Solo star? Yeah, it was Starbuck.
Starbuck, yeah.
So when I was watching the TV,
Played by Face from the A-Team.
That's right. When I was watching football one Sunday and the Cowboys were playing, I heard Howard Cosell, Roger Starbuck falls back, and I thought, is that the guy from Battlestar Galactica? Is Starbuck really? Is he a pilot and a Viper in the Battlestar Galactica?
He was a
series
pilot
and
in the
the
Navy,
quarterback
though.
for the Dallas Cowboys. So I instantly became a Cowboys fan.
There
And
you
I
go.
loved the Cowboys until 1981 when the catch occurred.
Mm-hmm. That broke my heart.
Dwight Clark.
Yep. I remember
Broke
that
my
one.
heart, and I hated the fact that Roger retired. Danny White was the quarterback then, and so who did I start liking? Well, a team from Cincinnati got a brand new helmet, looked like a tiger.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved the Bengals, and that's why I hate the 49ers to this day, because the 49ers beat them twice.
Yeah, they did.
But
They
the
broke-
biggest reason I love the Bengals was my mother went to Augustana College.
And Kenny
Yeah.
Anderson.
And she knew Kenny Anderson.
There you go.
I mean,
supposed to have
how
him on the
cool
show.
is that? That you got a
Well, my grandpa was World War II Navy, and he loved Roger Staubach.
Mm-hmm.
So every Sunday we would go to my grandpa's house, and I told the story before in the year. There it is. Roger Staubach, Troy. I'm like, okay, Grandpa. Cowboys. All right, that's what it was.
And he was Captain America.
Yeah, and I never wavered.
Did you guys ever watch
And,
Buck
and,
Rogers?
and my favorite superhero?
Yeah, Gil Gerard.
with
Captain
Twinkie?
America. Oh,
Twinkie?
Bitty bitty bitty.
Hey, I met
Beady,
Erin,
beady,
I
beady.
met Erin Gray at a convention, and she was probably in her 50s at the time. I was
Still
in my
hot.
hot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Do
she
you
was
remember
donut
like,
grease.
one time in Waterloo at the Five Sullivan Brothers Center, before it was even named that, it used to be the Five something meow meow. But anyway, they had the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders come, and I got their autograph. Oh God, dude, I was like 10.
You spent some time in the bathroom after that.
You know, before I knew what was going on.
Aaron Gray was Kenny Rogers' love interest in the movie Six Pack.
It was.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kenny Rogers.
I know.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Kiss
Anthony
you right
Michael
on the
Hall.
mouth, Kenny Rogers.
Love
Diane Lane.
will turn you around.
Yeah, Diane Lane.
Turn you
Well,
around.
Diane Lane used to be something.
She still is.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, she got wrinkled up a little bit, but she used to be
Wasn't she in
real.
the first? Wasn't she in the first King Kong, the 1970?
No, that was
What was her?
I just
that
DVR'd
was Jessica
Jessica Lange.
Lange.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
just DVR'd The Outsiders last night. To show the kids.
Oh, that's a good.
Diane
movie.
Lane's in that too. She plays Cherry.
She does. You got to do it for Johnny.
Cherry
man.
for sure.
Do it for Johnny.
She was Cherry for sure.
I love how this can just go sideways.
What
and
year
then-
did Outsiders come out? Was that 84?
No, Karate Kid came out in 84.
81, right?
Is that
81
old?
or 2?
82 or 83.
You know, that movie is more beloved by the school district than any other movie from the 80s. Every language arts class in high school teaches, they read the book.
I mean, that was
The Outsiders.
That was
usually-
Tom Cruise's first movie.
Was it his first? I think Taps.
Was
Either
it
one of
Taps
those
or that
two.
one? Which one
Tom
came first?
Cruise's best line in that movie, Outsiders, is when he says, "Pony Boy Soda Pop." Patrick Swayze says, "Pony Boy Soda Pop. If the fuzz come, you guys hightail it out of here. I don't need anyone coming and sniffing around." And Tom Cruise goes, "Ain't nobody gonna call the fuzz tonight." He's got a big thing of chaw. I love it.
Doesn't he have chocolate cake in his mouth?
I thought it was chew.
He's eating chocolate cake and his teeth are all nasty.
Jay thought it was chew.
I thought he had a big thing of a.
Taps is a good. We got Timothy Dalton in that. Sean Penn, right?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise. That was a good one. Taps was a really good one.
Yep. C. Thomas Howell, was he in that?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
think so?
my fiance and I, we've been cooped up in this quarantine, and we pretty
You
much.
have?
We pretty much. Would you? We pretty much watch at least one movie a day.
Okay.
And she's from a different generation. She graduated in 2000, so I've been showing her these classic 80s movies. We
Well, I
watched.
could tell you a movie by C. Thomas Howell that'll never be made again. Soul Man.
Will never
yes.
be made again.
What
By the
you
way,
looking at?
I saw that movie in the theaters. That will never be.
No, it
ever
won't.
be
Never.
made
You're
again.
absolutely right.
That is a great.
But
call.
we watched the original.
That one,
We watched the original Red Dawn about 3
That's a
days
good
ago.
one.
Oh, the original Red Dawn is so great.
That's
And
why
you know what? It looks old. I don't know how long it's been since you've watched it, but it's
Yeah, I'm
showing
sure.
its age. Patrick Swayze, rest in peace. All those guys.
Dude,
It's a good movie.
I'll stick that movie. That is great. That's one of my favorites.
Dirty Dancing almost didn't happen because of Red Dawn.
Why?
Because Patrick Swayze hated Jennifer Grey because of that movie.
That's right. Jennifer Grey was in Red Dawn.
Yeah.
Dude, she was on my list. Before the nose job.
On what list?
You know.
Yeah.
That list.
Jennifer Grey. She got a nose
Come
job,
on, I
and
wanna
then
lay
nobody
it.
hired her after that.
I know the nose job messed everything up.
Because everybody wanted her the way she looked in Dirty Dancing. And,
Yeah. I
and
wanted
Red
the
Dawn.
nose.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
We watched The Great Outdoors the other night.
I can't say my favorite line from it.
Is that John Candy?
John
Yes.
Candy and Dan Aykroyd.
The
Hot dogs.
Yeah. No.
Lips and
Yeah.
buttholes.
Yeah.
I can serve my family
all
lips
right.
and
Funny
buttholes.
story about that. I've told you guys this before. My son, I think, fast-tracked his ability to be an excellent reader because he figured out to put closed captioning on the television, and that's what I'm not lying to you. I did not do anything exceptional for my second child to make him such a great reader. He really I think he taught himself to read by putting closed captioning on the television. I think he's a genius. So he reads out loud what the raccoons are saying, and the raccoons say that. They say a couple swear words, the raccoons in the closed caption, titles. So he gets to cuss. Now he loves the movie. The other thing about that, the youngest kid in there, the oldest kid out of John Candy, Chris Young,
he's
played by
dating
Chris Young.
the chick
Yeah.
that works at the resort. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually from Moline, Illinois.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Chris
Oh,
Young
that's
is his name. We've watched. The daughter and I are watching One Tree Hill. We're gonna watch. I think tonight I'm gonna watch, and only because I was listening to a podcast called The Rewatchables. I think we're gonna watch Tommy Boy tonight.
Well, we watched Red Dawn a few days ago, and yesterday or the day before we watched. Ready for this one? Cocoon.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Great movie.
Do you know that Wilford Brimley was Tom Cruise's age when he was in that?
That's what I was just going to say. I'm going to be on the wrong side of 50.
If I get diabetes,
I'm going to be on the wrong side of 50 here in about another year. And when I watch that movie,
when you turn 50,
March of 2022.
All right. Well, I turned 50 January.
Yeah. So we grew up in the same
screwed.
generation, baby.
I know.
But to see Wilford Brimley and who were the other two old dudes?
Oh, Don Amici and
I think Wilford Brimley was in his 50s in that movie, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was like 52.
He was just born looking old, I guess.
Well, yeah.
He looked like an.
Well, then he was in. He even looked old when he was chasing Tom. When he was the head of security, when he was chasing Tom Cruise in The Firm.
I never saw that movie.
That's a good one. The Firm is pretty good.
The Firm.
There's that one, and then Moneymaker. What is it? Rainmaker. Love Rainmaker.
Whatever happened to Mark Gutenberg?
It's
I don't know
Steve
what
Gutenberg.
happened.
That's what I said. Steve Gutenberg. Yeah.
I don't know. After 3 Men and a Little Lady, he was done.
Well, he did all the Police Academy movies.
He sure did.
Yeah.
He was in Cocoon. He was in Short Circuit.
And he was a likable guy.
Short Circuit 1 and 2.
Great. Yeah.
And he reminded me a lot of Tom Hanks. He had this bubbly personality.
Yeah.
People seemed to like him, but then all of a sudden, nothing.
He just retired.
He's on every once in a while. He has a recurring role in the television show that I was telling you about, Goldberg's. But he plays a science teacher.
What's he look like now?
He looks like Steve Gutenberg that you know of, plus 20 years.
All right.
I mean,
Did
you
he get
notice him.
fat? His hair fall out?
No.
Stayed the same.
Yep. And you would just go, wait, I know that guy, and then you're like, oh my goodness, it's Steve Gutenberg. Yeah.
I said Mark Gutenberg. Isn't that the Facebook guy?
No, that's Mark Zuckerberg.
Not the Facebook.
You just you messed up the first part of the Berg, but you had the name right.
Gutenberg.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out things to do. Like you said, you're watching about a movie a day.
That's a good movie, by the way.
What?
Social Network, about Zuckerberg.
It is. Is Justin Timberlake's in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays.
That's a great movie.
He plays the dude from Napster.
Yep, the guy that started Napster.
Yeah,
you guys remember that? And you can get music for free.
Yeah, it was like I got my first computer at home and I was trying to figure stuff out. I'm like, you could download music, and it took like 35 minutes to download a song. Yeah, it was so great.
Oh yeah. And then you were like, but you thought the cops were going to come out. Hey, real quick before I change this on you guys, because I'm going to ask you guys to throw out some names here. I will tell you one more thing about this COVID-19. I got a little sad today. I haven't really been upset that the kids are at home or anything like that and everything. It really hasn't hit me. But today, I heard the sirens that go off the first Tuesday of the month at 10 o'clock.
I heard them too.
Scared me.
And it just reminded me like of the first time I sent Sophie off to school, and it was the first Tuesday of the month, and I was like, listen. And I think of her every time this happens, and I was like, listen, there's an alarm, because it's right outside of her elementary school. There's an alarm that's going to go off today. It's going to be at 10 o'clock. I don't want you to be worried or anything like that. So and I actually got sad. I was like, man, they're not in school. This sucks.
Yeah.
It just made me think about that. I've been meaning to do this, and now that we're kind of going off on names, I don't know how I'm going to put this together. I don't know if I'm going to put a bracket. I don't know what I'm going to do. But give me the list of and Jimmy, just hold off maybe till your nominee of about 5 or 6 when you nominate yourself. Okay? Give me the best. Give me the best athletes from the Quad Cities that we know of.
Oh, best athletes from the
Roger
Quad Cities?
Craig.
Okay.
Roger Craig's up there. I'd go T.J. Rubley.
Okay.
You remember him?
Do they have to be Quad Cities, or how far out can we go?
Give me a QC area. Don't get crazy. Don't pull the I'm from Chicago, but originally I'm from really I'm from
So
Rockford.
basically, if you go outside of North Scott on the Iowa side, that's about where you go. And you
I'll take DeWitt.
All right, you'll take DeWitt, and then what about the Illinois side? You go out to like Silvis.
Yeah, that's fine. Sterling's fine too.
I've got to say, Karen Marie Pena.
Yep.
Well, you got Pat Miletich.
Ooh, by the way, Karen, does she get upset about everybody on Facebook when they're just like, okay, Karen, because that's what they call these people, the women who are like in their mid-50s or whatever else always.
It's become a cliche now to call.
Yeah.
I don't even think she knows
okay,
about
good.
it.
Don't tell her that. I'll drive her nuts.
Yeah.
All right.
You got Miletich.
Yep, we got Pat Miletich. We got Pat Anger.
We got Michael Nunn on there.
I'll get him on there, yep.
You better put our boy AC Earl on there.
I will.
What about Kenny Shedd?
Yep.
Yeah.
Put Kenny Shedd up there?
Don't go too fast. I got to write these down.
Who was the guy from North Scott that played for the Dodgers? I forget his name.
All right, hold on a second. Did I miss
Dang
anybody here? Kenny Shedd, Ingram, AC Earl, Kenny Shedd.
Oh, Julian Vanderbilt.
Julian gets to go
Yes,
in there.
Vanderbilt. Let me get out my reading spectacles.
They put our man Tyson Blazer on there. Tavian.
I mean, first of all, Tavian
gets to go.
Anybody that's made the NFL or
The highest level of any.
highest level of any sport has to be on that list. Oh, Alicia, the tennis player, Alicia Keys, right?
Okay.
Or not? Is that Alicia?
Alicia Keys?
Not Alicia Keys. Dang it! I'm gonna Madison Keys.
Madison Keys. Yeah. Did we really get her?
She's from Rock Island.
Yeah, till when? Like 11?
Listen, they always say she's from Rock Island. So
Well, that's what they do. A lot of times, if you see a cut and pasted article from the Associated Press, somewhere along the line there'll be like a comment and be like, "Whose grandma once stayed at a Ramada Inn in Davenport?" To make a key there.
Well, we're taking Madison Keys.
Well,
I'm
then
sorry.
We got to get Chase and Randall.
Yeah.
Wieskamp gets to go. Right?
Muscatine.
Yeah. It's going.
It's not the Quad Cities, dude.
Do you guys remember a guy named Mike?
Ooh, I did like the Vince Jackson in there call.
Oh, gosh. You got to get
First of all, you got
Vince
to take
in there.
Wieskamp off, and Ricky Davis has to replace Wieskamp.
Ooh, Ricky Davis gets to go, even though he doesn't want to say that he's from here.
Yeah.
He changed that around and said he's from Las Vegas. Ricky Davis
Here's
is
one
on the list.
nobody knows about, but you have to put him in there. Mike Bush.
Mike Bush.
Have you heard of him?
Well, you're
He's
going to
from
tell us.
North Scott High School, and
he was the Dodger.
Yeah, he played in the Big Show. He played in the major leagues for I don't know how many years.
Well, speaking of Bushes, Pete Bush.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is their favorite kind of beer? Do you think?
Does Clinton
probably
get in?
Coors.
Do we get to put in Danny Knight?
See, I don't think Muscatine's in or Clinton. I'm sorry.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
I like
Joe's off.
I like
I
where
love
you-
Joe Wieskamp, but
I like
but,
where your head's at.
But Muscatine and Clinton. All right, this is and if you're out there
Don
listening, if you're from
Nelson,
Clinton,
Don Nelson, great call.
if you're from Clinton and Muscatine, listen, I get mad at some of you drivers when you come to the Quad Cities and you can't figure out our roads. Okay, so no, they don't get to be in because of that, because of their drivers. Period.
We're going to throw in Brianne Beal? I mean,
Clinton drivers and Muscatine drivers are as bad as
Technic-
Illinois drivers.
We could call Beal a national
Take
champion.
that, Huggy Bear.
Brianne Beal, I mean, South Carolina was number one when this whole thing went down. She played as a freshman.
Well, you got to put Brandon Beal.
Brianna Beal.
Can I put a name up there?
DJ gets to go.
He's very
DJ Carton.
Yeah.
All right.
very dear to me because of the memories I had of him, and he was in a car accident out by Rookies on Brady Street in the late 80s, early 90s, but he was probably the best pitcher any Little League team ever had. He played at Iowa State. He hurt his hand, couldn't pitch much after that, but he was drafted, I think he was drafted by the Mets, turned it down to go to Iowa State, and that's Kent Sessler.
Kent Sessler.
Kent Sessler. This guy, when I was a little boy, I'd go watch him pitch in Little League. Nobody could touch him.
Wow.
This guy threw so hard and had a knuckle curveball that would just buckle your knees. When he was in high school at West, that's when West High School won the state championship, 1987. I believe he graduated in 1988. He went to Iowa State. There was a couple minor league teams that were interested. This guy threw so hard, and then he got in a car accident, and he's had difficulties ever since then. But that guy was amazing. You put Jimmy Siokas on there?
Yeah, he's on there. Robbie Lawler got put on there. So did Drew McFedries.
Kobe Lopez.
Colby gets on.
Why not?
I'm not arguing it.
How many girls we got on there so far?
We just have Brianna Beal and Madison Keys and Camry Pena.
Okay.
There's probably plenty more that we'll get to, but this is a good start. And I want to take a break. I want to call Bilal Muhammad from the UFC, and then we'll come back to this after we talk to him, okay? Let's take a quick break and come back and do a commercial.
All right, Quad Cities, make sure you're going down to Front Street Brewery at 208 East River Drive and get some of that carry-out food, or go to the tap room at the Freight House Complex and fill up your growlers with some Davenport Gold, Wise Guy, Raging River, or that oh-so-popular Cherry Bomb Blonde. Check out the Facebook page so you know what's all going on with all their food specials, or visit the webpage at www.frontstreetbrew.com. Once again, Front Street Brewery, the restaurant is at 208 East River Drive, open for carryout, and the tap room is in the Freight House Complex.
This is Merrick Brave from SCW Pro, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Waterproofing problems in your basement or crawl space can quickly turn into mold, wood rot, and other serious safety and structural issues. Helitech is here to help. Helitech is your hometown basement waterproofing contractor. Helitech has been proudly serving the Quad Cities for over 30 years. We're the area's only contractor of HydroWay, the best performing waterproofing system on the market, guaranteed. Visit helitechonline.com. They healed my home, they'll heal yours too. Helitech. Heal your home with Helitech.
Hey, this is Eric at Winger Truck Line, where we have been in continuous operation without a layoff for 74 years, and we are hiring drivers. During this unprecedented time in our nation's history, Winger Truck Line is staying strong and hiring for regional home weekends. We are busy serving our families, our customers, and our nation. How about you? Call me today, 800-593-6433, or see us online at drivewtl.com. Let's go!
The Will Kane Show.
I don't think there's any hard and fast rule here. It's not that you have to win while your quarterback's on a rookie deal. I don't want to pay Dak $40 million because you don't have to. What I would argue is this: get a good deal. The main thing to do is avoid paying average quarterbacks as though they're great. That's when teams get in trouble. There's no hard and fast rule except don't be a moron. The commodity or the quality that's in short supply in every walk of life is self-awareness. Who am I? How good am I? What am I worth? And I think that teams honestly aren't self-aware enough about their window, how good they are, and how good their quarterback is. My biggest lesson, honestly, Fitz, is not, oh, you got to win with a quarterback on a rookie deal. It's not pay Dak, but don't pay him 40. It's just play smart business. Don't overpay. Be self-aware. Who is your guy, and pay him at that rate.
The Will Kane Show, 2 till 5 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Ace Muffler Clinic has been serving the Quad Cities area for over 60 years. There's a reason why our customers continue to trust us with their vehicles. We can fix almost anything. We can fix your muffler, tune your brakes, change your oil, change your tires, replace your battery, customize your exhaust, tune your engine, repair your suspension, replace your radiator and your water pump. Align your automobile, refill your transmission fluid, and change your filters. And we believe in doing all those things right the first time. For fast, friendly service, visit Ace Muffler Clinic at 4th Ave and 15th Street in Rock Island.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Car old? Need it sold? Get rid of that old car and do a good deed at the same time. It's the Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction coming soon to Coal Valley. That's right, it's back. Donate your car, truck, SUV, or motorcycle, and if you live within 40 miles of Coal Valley, they will even pick it up, even if it doesn't run. All donations are tax deductible. Call 309-799-7044 or visit them online at arrowheadyouth.org. Car old? Need it sold? Arrowhead Ranch Annual Auto Auction. Stay tuned for an auction date in Coal Valley.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.
All right, everybody, we're back here. We're talking about Fernando Valenzuela, the greatest hitter that was never known.
Why wouldn't we be?
No, it's true, though.
Fernando Mania 1981.
Rookie of the year and MVP.
Yeah. Dude, he had that he had the
Screwball. He was the reason I used to look up in the sky in 1981 as a 9-year-old pitcher at Emi's Little League.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I
Breathing through his eyelids.
watched him play the Cubbies, and so I wore my Cubs gear. My daddy was my Dodgers gear. My dad's a Cubs fan, and Mom got sunburnt. We were right behind first base, probably about 12 rows up. They had pretty good seats.
We're going to make a phone call.
Okay. Who are we calling?
We're going to call Bilal Muhammad, fighter for UFC. He's supposed to fight at UFC 249 in a week from Saturday.
What kind of name is that? Is that Scottish Romanian?
It is not. It is Muslim.
Hello.
Hello, Bilal.
Hey, yeah, what's up?
This is Jay, ESPN 1170 AM. You're on the air with us. We've got T-Roy here and Jimmy Siokas and me, so if you hear a lot of voices coming from different microphones, it's just not me doing voices. We actually have other people in the studio.
All right, cool, awesome.
Thank you so much for your time. It's an interesting time to talk to you. Not only do you have, we'll get to the UFC 249 that you've got coming up, and it's a welterweight fight, right?
Yes.
But also yesterday, Dana White comes out and says that he's securing a private island, a U.S. location for UFC fights.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dana White's one of those guys that he's going to put on a show no matter what. And the fact that he's doing all this, it just makes me want to work harder and make me push myself harder just because I know that everything that he's going through just to make these fights happen. So I'm going to stay ready, and I know that he's talking about going show after show after show every week. So if I'm healthy, I'll be in those first.
Bilal T-Roy here. I want to start a dangerous rumor. I'm going to say that the island Dana bought is the former Epstein Island, because Epstein's gone now. They probably got that island on the cheap. Can we start that rumor? Is that all right if I start it? You don't have to sign off on it. Just don't deny it.
Yeah, I'll just shrug my shoulders if anybody asks.
All right, sounds great, man.
So you're scheduled to fight, but your opponent, Lyman Good, he had to pull out. So what's going on? What's the schedule now?
Yeah, so basically we're just working on getting a new opponent. They threw out a couple names now. So
why did Lyman pull out, Bilal? Do you know?
He just pulled out 2 days ago.
Was it virus related or no?
Oh, why? He said it was an injury.
Okay.
He's scared of you.
Like even right now, I know he's from New Jersey, so like New Jersey is one of the hotbeds of
yeah.
virus, so it could be just safety reasons itself because he got like a family and stuff. So like it's one of those where I was expecting it. I never, especially now, you can't just nothing's guaranteed. So like I wasn't like concentrating fully on him. I was just training to get in shape because like you said, like you don't. I was telling everybody before this, like you don't even know if Lyman's going to show up or not show up. So right now, it's basically up in the air of who I'm fighting, and just me staying in shape and being ready. Like it doesn't matter who, as long as I get a fight.
Where are you located at right now?
I'm in Chicago.
All right, so I mean you're in a hotbed as well. I mean you're not too far from us. I mean we're just down I-80 from you, I-80, I-88. So I mean
yeah, exactly.
What are you doing to stay safe? Because obviously, I mean in Illinois, Chicago is the base of this. I mean most of the rest of Illinois is really not affected. So what are you doing?
Yeah, no, it's basically I'm just the only place I'm going are either to the gym and back home and staying inside the whole time, not doing nothing much else. But like my gym is it's like a private gym, so like I have keys to it, and I just got like a small group of guys that I know are like responsible enough not to show up if they're feeling sick. So, whoa, what kind of cough is that over there?
No, that just.
See ya, T-Roy.
Yeah,
See ya.
That was awesome.
Nah, I'm just messing around. But, yeah, like I said, like we got a small group of guys that we all trust each other. And we know we won't show up if we're feeling any symptoms or anything like that. So it's just basically driving to the gym, driving back home, and just resting and waiting for a call.
Are you from Chicago your whole life?
Yeah, I was born and raised here my whole life.
I was
but
born.
I also do a lot of training in Milwaukee.
Oh,
I
Milwaukee.
got an apartment in Milwaukee, too. Yeah.
I was born in Elgin, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 31.
31. Have you seen all the Rocky movies?
Yeah.
Okay, so
There you go.
As a fighter, did you ever box?
Yeah, I do boxing too.
Okay, so if you had to fight Rocky, Apollo Creed, Clubber Lang, or Ivan Drago, or Tommy Gunn, and you got to get the win, which one of those guys are you going to go against?
Is this a boxing match or MMA match?
No, it's just boxing. You'd kill him in MMA. Just boxing.
Just boxing. I think I'll go against Rocky.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like he gets hit a lot, and I don't think he was the most skilled. I think he won a lot of his fights based off heart and cardio. So, and those are one of my strong points. So, like, I feel like I would compete well with them. Drago's huge guy, beast. Clubber Lang got that one-punch knockout power.
Yep.
But I think Rocky didn't have really big power. It was just never nonstop in your face.
Well, we got Sylvester Stallone here right now to talk to you.
No, we don't. Hey, don't call me punchy.
Hey, yo.
If you're going to pick out of that 5 somebody who you think you can beat,
I'm taking Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn. He has no heart. He's lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tommy Gunn.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
See, that's who I thought you were taking. I mean,
Yeah.
Tommy Gunn's the one.
They when looking this up on things about Wikipedia, remember the name is what you go by. Is there a story behind that?
Yeah, I just always wanted to be a fighter that when you hear my name, that you're gonna want to tune into a fight. So I put on exciting fights. So like I always want that name to be stuck in their head and printed. Oh, when this guy's fighting, I need to watch. So that's just basically it.
When did you get into UFC? I mean, basically what I'm asking is, when I used to teach high school, and I would say, like, where do you see yourself from 10 years from now? Some kids would say, like, I want to be a UFC fighter. Like, were you, like, 15? Were you one of those kids that were saying, like, when you're 15, 16, like, I'm going to be a UFC fighter? How did this happen?
No, I was actually one of those kids that, like, played a lot of sports. I played a lot of basketball, a lot of football, and then once I got to high school, my brothers forced me to wrestle because I wasn't that tall. So I was trying out wrestling season at the same time as basketball season. So I was like, I'm going to try out for the basketball team. They're like, no, you're not going to do that for basketball. Man up and come to wrestling with us. So I ended up going to wrestling, and, I enjoy it. It was just I'm a very competitive guy, so I like the sport because it's just one-on-one, and there's nobody to blame for a loss but yourself. So after that, I wrestled 4 years in high school. Then I went to college for law. And then I came back to University of Illinois in Urbana. And then while I was over there, I saw a newspaper, and my old wrestling coach from high school was fighting. And he was like on a Strikeforce fight, fighting on Showtime. And like I lost like contact with him. So I was like, what the heck? He's a fighter now? So like I messaged him through Facebook and asked him, hey, what are you doing? I see you're on a newspaper fighting. And he's like, yeah, stop by the gym. You'll like it. And then like just on my breaks, like Christmas break and stuff like that, I'll go and train with him. And then ever since I started MMA from that point on, it just like clicked. And we just been training ever since. And I just like started up amateur fights. And then all of a sudden you'd be like, all right, I'm pretty good at this. I keep winning. And then I'm like, all right, maybe I can make a career out of this. So, yeah, just from that, just funny story. I'm still with my high school wrestling coach too now. He's still my head coach, so it's pretty funny.
Would you say that all MMA fighters grew up as a wrestler?
All the good ones, I think, did. Like I feel like wrestling's one of the harder disciplines, and it just makes you tough. So like that's why you see a lot of college wrestlers in the sport of MMA, because you really can't do nothing much after college. It's not like a pro level wrestling. So most of those guys are transferring to MMA. And in MMA, if you don't have any wrestling, you're basically you're not going to be good at all, I don't think. Just because you control if you want to keep it standing, you want to take it to the ground with wrestling. And that's the most important martial art, I think.
Did you wrestle in college?
No, I didn't wrestle in college. I just did the 4 years of high school. I was pretty good at it, but it wasn't one of those things where I was like, oh, I need to wrestle. And I wanted to go to a better school. So like I was getting offers from like small Division II schools for wrestling, but
What high school did you go to?
University of Illinois. I went to Bogan High School, the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
It was like a city school.
So are you a White Sox fan?
No, actually, I'm a Cubs fan.
I thought being from the South Side, you were a White Sox fan, but
Yeah, I get a lot of hate for that, but I like winners.
Yeah.
But now they both suck. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, Epstein's working on it, right? It seems like.
So, what's the plan for you? What are they telling you about this island? When are you going to leave to travel there?
Well, we usually leave the fight week, so like I usually I'll be leaving next week on Tuesday. And, like they just basically message me now, like what airport do I want to leave from, but they haven't gave me a destination yet. So like I don't think this. I think the island fight, not yet. I think that the private island they're purchasing now for other guys from outside of the country could come and fight on that island because I know those guys they're not letting a lot of people into the U.S. from outside the country. So I think now they're going to have a fight on the West Coast for next week. They haven't said what state yet, but they said it's going to be on the West Coast. But they haven't announced which part yet. But then after that, I think for like the guys like that are in Russia or Brazil and they can't get into the U.S. because it's on lockdown, they're going to take them to the island to fight on the island.
Okay, let me ask you this. Mentally, are you prepared to fight somebody, or what's the preparation that you have to fight somebody with nobody in attendance, no fans? Because do you get it? You've got to get an adrenaline rush off of that, right?
Yeah, of course you get an adrenaline rush off of fans, but honestly, I feel like it'll make you more calm, so you don't get the nerves. Because when you walk out, you're looking to the crowd, you're seeing what's around you. But now I feel it'll be more so like practice. You know, I'm sparring every day at practice. Well, I'm sparring every day. When I'm sparring at practice, we have a cage, and there's basically just a small group of guys like us. So I feel like it'll give us a more comfort level. And I feel like you'll see a lot more guys throwing a lot more stuff out there because they don't have that nervous energy from hearing the crowd cheer or hearing the crowd boo. And you're not going to have that bias in judges. When judges will hear if there's like a fan favorite or something like that, that guy will throw something and hit you with something, and the fans go crazy. And maybe it won't be worth as much, but the judges will see the fans going crazy for it, so that'll sway their decisions.
All right. Yeah, I just wondered what that would be like instead of having the crowd in there and what you're mentally how you're preparing for that. So
I feel like it'll be weird, but it'll be weird. Like I was watching WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Just to see how it feels, and it felt weird for me watching it. So I feel like it'll be more weird for the fans watching it, but I feel like the guys in the cage, once you get punched in the face, I don't really care if there's fans or not.
All right. Currently 16-3, and what's the plan from here after this fight? I mean, obviously you don't know who you're fighting, but what are you going to start knocking off some names that are ranked ahead of you?
Yeah. Hopefully, that's always the plan. I won 6 out of my last 7 fights, so I got good momentum going right now. So it's basically in this game, it's basically about momentum and getting the ranked guys, getting the higher ranking guys you get, the more money you're going to get. So all I got to do is basically keep winning, keep performing, and I feel like those ranked names will start coming to me.
Now, in going back and looking at your Wikipedia, the gentleman you were supposed to fight, Lyman Good, you were supposed to fight him also in 2016 and it didn't happen?
Yeah, we were actually supposed to fight we were also supposed to fight another time before we even signed the contract, but we were supposed to fight 3 times already, so I'm like,
man, this guy's ducking.
I don't think this fight's ever going to happen. I think it's just a bad luck fight, just like the defense.
I don't think it's bad luck. I think he's ducking you.
I do too.
So
you said
it is him or put her time.
You said you went to school for law?
Yeah.
So if you had never become an MMA fighter, do you think you would be a lawyer right now, or is that something you want to pursue when you're done with your fighting career?
Yeah, I feel like that's something I would want to pursue, and I feel like it was something I could always go back to. Like you could always go back to your education at any time, but you could only be an athlete, pro athlete for a small window when you're healthy and you're young. So I feel like that's law, something I always loved and I enjoyed. So I feel like after this, you never know. Maybe I'll go back and try to do something with it.
Well, send me your card. I might need you later.
Do you always just fight in the welterweight division?
Yeah, that's the only division. That's been my weight class my whole life. So
what is the
I
welterweight
don't like
division?
to go up and down. 170 pounds.
170? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for your time and giving us just 15 minutes to talk about this, and I really do appreciate. We'll touch back with you after UFC 249 if that's cool with you, and just talk about what it was like and anything else. But you be safe and good luck on Saturday, April 18th, UFC 249 with whoever your opponent's going to be.
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys.
Good luck.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Bye. All right, that's Bilal Muhammad, welterweight fighter for UFC. He'll fight UFC 249. Like he said, he thinks it's going to be on the West Coast somewhere. Dana White's saying that he's going to get an island, and he's going to make sure that all these fights. There's been 3 UFCs canceled since this coronavirus pandemic. So that was cool to talk to him. He was a nice guy. He was funny. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue talking about athletes and all kinds of stuff. What else? You got something you want to talk about too? Sure.
Yeah, if you could have any wish, what would it be?
I don't know. That's okay. We got to take a quick. All right, hold on. Well, Tim Hernandez wants you to focus on new and fun ways to get fit for yourself and your family. ID Life wants you to be healthier, have more energy, and get better sleep and achieve more focus. ID Life is a health and wellness company that's revolutionizing the industry and customized nutrition. The ID Life name stands for individually designed life and was founded on the principle that no two people are alike, so everyone has unique nutritional needs. Tim Hernandez is your guy in the Quad Cities to offer you personalized guidance that is tailored specifically to your health factors and personal goals. Do you have health problems that may be holding you back? The doctors and scientists develop what nutrients you should be taking and what supplements will benefit you the most. Go to qchealth.idlife.com to sign up for an unconditional, no questions asked, 30-day money-back guarantee. Call Tim Hernandez today at 563-508-7221 so he can show you what makes ID Life different is you. We'll be right back. Don't Hassle Us Local on ESPN 1170 AM.
And you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Hi, I'm Mark Brenny from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic with a few words about our current situation. Here at Brenny's, we are committed to being safe and responsible for the next foreseeable future. I intend on keeping my bike shop open to service our loyal customers. Keep in mind, motorcycle riding is social isolation. So, we have implemented curbside service for all parts, service, and sales. We will limit access to our buildings to those who need the help. Our employees are inside working on bike repairs, arranging financing for new and used units. We will pick up and or deliver units as necessary. Your best bet is to call on the phone or email our sales department with your requests or concerns. All our inventory is in our website, brennys.com. There's no joke or punchline in this commercial because I don't want to make anybody sick. However, when this thing gets back to normal, and they will, prepare yourself for some truly cutting-edge, tasteless humor from me. Sincerely, Mark Brenny, Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, across from Alcoa, almost.
Very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I think steak is one of the most overrated foods. When people say, what's the meal you want, the best meal you can have, people say a good ribeye, a good New York strip, and I just think that those are overrated. And I'm always going to go maybe some seafood, some nice chicken dish. I just prefer that stuff over the steak.
I firmly disagree with that assessment.
I think most people would.
The most overrated food is lobster. It's the cockroach of the sea. That's right, I said it.
These are shocking things. All right, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is steak overrated? Is lobster overrated? Do you eat the fat? Because Stugatz is saying the fat is the best thing. I don't think a lot of people think the fat is the best thing. Do they?
It's so good. Like, you ever just grill a ribeye and at the very end on the edges, there's that fatty part of it.
Oh,
it is
right in the garbage.
right off the right in the garbage. I'm gonna throw you in the garbage. What's the matter with you?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When storm damage hits, All Major Restorations is your insurance claim specialist. Loose or missing shingles, dented siding, or damaged windows. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities works with your insurance company, making the process quick and easy. The insurance company has people fighting for them. Let All Major Restorations work for you. Residential, commercial, and industrial. There's a reason they have an A+ accredited Better Business Bureau rating. Storm damage estimates are always free. Visit amrestorations.com. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
What is Kevin Durant doing? Spending entire evenings just firing back to eggs on Twitter.
Kevin Durant loves to go on social media and fight with people, and as far as I can tell, nothing good comes from it. Nothing.
You've won, Kevin Durant.
You've won.
I mean, not a title, but you've won.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Sheedy Family Chiropractic is your choice for chiropractic care in the Quad Cities. Chronic problems, joint pain, or recent injury, don't let pain slow you down. Sheedy Family Chiropractic in Davenport can help decrease your pain and improve range of motion, keeping your busy life moving. Same-day appointments available most days for new patients and $20 sports physicals. Call today or visit SheedyChiro.com. That's SHEEDY Chiro.com. Sheedy Family Chiropractic, getting you back to work, play, and life.
Don't hassle us. We're local. Noon till 2 on the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
And we're back. ESPN 1170 AM. Don't hassle us. We're local. Twitter T-Roy over there.
Oh, I'm in a war. I get some dude with
it's
a
at Troy the
Pooh
Wino.
Bear. He's got a Pooh Bear logo in for his stupid thing.
Yeah.
Trying to come
At
at me.
Troy the
Don't come at
Wino
me.
going on there.
Trying to tell me to go back to vampire hunting.
Still making the list
I'm a
of
vampire hunter.
what I really need to do.
I forgot my Twitter profile even says that.
What?
And then I have this other a-hole. You want to hear this one? This is great.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read it out to you.
Sure.
Adidas' point wasn't partisan.
Adidas? What are you talking about?
The lady I commented on.
Okay.
Because I said, don't forget about this guy. This guy's the one who started it all, basically. I'm talking about Andrew Jackson.
Old Hickory.
Mm-hmm. He basically, that was the dude that slaughtered Native Americans, okay?
Mhm.
And she had a tweet about that. And by the way, he was huge, giant into slave owning and all this stuff, too. But read back. And I just pointed out the fact that Andrew Jackson was a Democrat. So the point was, I said, the convenient erasure of the history of this country to preserve the exceptionalism of American whiteness is not unique to any political affiliation. 2, by the way, this is Harvard Goth. You can't even put your real name on there, or whatever. At least I put Troy on mine. I went to an underfunded Appalachian public high school. Sorry, dude. And I even learned that the current ideological alignment of the GOP and the Dems doesn't look the same as it did in the 1930s, much less the 1830s, which is when Jackson was president, since it seems to struggle with history.
Wait, he went to an underprivileged Appalachian Mountain High School?
Yeah.
So he's saying he's a
smarter than me?
No, I think he's saying that he's a backwoods hick.
Yeah, although it's such basic and common known fact, I have a feeling your ignorance is willful. So Harvard Goth here. He just has a picture of a building.
I don't know.
I'm like, this
How do you find
just
these
another
people?
goth
How do you
girl
find these
sold her soul for an Ivy League PhD. Not the Twitter account Harvard needs, but the one it deserves. She, they. Okay. I'm going to text back. Okay, they.
Tell you a funny story about Andrew Jackson.
Okay,
Old
they.
Hickory.
Sure.
There was an attempted assassination on Old Hickory.
All right, can I say something back to her? I want to go, hey, are you one of those Harvard hotties?
Harvard.
Yeah, she's not gonna like that.
Go pack the cat.
So what about Old Hickory?
When he was president, there was an attempted assassination, and I learned this from Mr. Travis Shepard, who's a history teacher at Mid-City High School. And I don't know how old Andrew Jackson was at the time. He was probably in his 60s, so he's older.
Mm-hmm.
And this much younger gentleman, see, back then, there was no security in the White House. If you wanted to come and talk to the president, you could walk right into the White House and say, I'll take a seat till he's free.
Makes sense.
This guy came in here with 2 flintlock pistols. Why 2? Because they were very inaccurate, and oftentimes they didn't work. He had 2 flintlock pistols in his belt under his jacket. He wanted to kill the president. Andrew Jackson comes out of his office and is walking down through the White House, and this guy pulls out his first flintlock pistol aims it, pulls the trigger, it doesn't fire. He quickly throws it down, grabs the second one, it doesn't fire. And at that point, this 20 or 30-year-old man sees a 60-year-old Andrew Jackson come running at him with a cane, and Andrew Jackson proceeded to beat him down in a fist fight right there. That's Old Hickory for you.
Well, there you go.
Old Hickory.
Still
Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. That
He was
guy
still a Democrat.
That guy used his fists.
In studio with Jimmy Siokas, always teaching us, talking sports. We just got off the phone with Bilal Muhammad, who's going to fight at UFC 249. Opponent undetermined because his opponent had a lineman good, had to pull out. Interesting talking to him about what Dana White's going to do. Jimmy, you brought into the studio Millennium Falcon?
Well, I'm thinking with the coronavirus going on, we might have to come up with a plan B here. And with the budget we're giving NASA right now, or any private industries that are going to potentially go into space exploration, I'm thinking that we might have to figure out quickly, sooner than later, how we can maybe progress and live on Mars. So I'm thinking this is the shape of the ship I think they should make for us to sail out into outer space. It's maybe you've seen it before. It's the Millennium Falcon.
Is that the Hasbro Millennium Falcon?
This is a vintage 1980 Millennium Falcon.
Hasbro.
My favorite Christmas toy I ever got. It was Kenner.
Awesome. Kenner. Yeah.
And see, just in case we need it, we got turret guns up here in case there's hostiles.
I see that.
We got a satellite dish in case you need to communicate.
Uh-huh.
It's got a starboard side cockpit. You can even see in there. Who's in there?
Han and Chewie.
Han and Chewie. Right there.
I still have those guys.
You know, if they're going to make spaceships, now that the space shuttles have been retired, why not go with something great? The back hatch opens up. I got Ben Kenobi back here.
You do, yeah. I see that.
Right there. What do you guys think?
Luke, yeah, that's what you wanted. That's your solution to if this.
If I worked for NASA and we had to come up with a new spaceship mold, I would go with the Millennium Falcon. Besides, it's the fastest ship in the galaxy.
Can't argue with that logic, right?
Yep.
It is the fastest according to a 1978 movie.
That doesn't make much sense with the cockpit off to the side, but you know how they came up with this design?
They took a pizza and no, I don't know how they came up with the design.
Well, the original Millennium Falcon was shaped more symmetrical with a cockpit in the center, and George Lucas said to the designers, it looks too much like the ship from 1999, which was a space movie back then. That's 21 years in the past. But the guys had to go back to scratch and say, all right, what are we going to do? So they took a lunch break, and they went out to a restaurant, and the guy ordered a hamburger. And he took a big bite out of the center of the hamburger right here and set it down on the plate, and there was a pickle off to the side.
Okay.
And he looked at it, and there was a big bite out of the center of the hamburger with a pickle off to the side, and he said, I've got a great idea here. Why don't we make the ship look like this? With the cockpit will be where the pickle is, and they'll have these forward mandibles here where the bite was taken out of the hamburger, and the rest is history, man.
That's a true story?
Yeah.
All
right. You like apples?
Yeah, how you like them apples?
How you like them apples?
Yeah, I think it's great that you have the Millennium Falcon from the Kenner.
It's vintage.
Vintage.
My kids still play with it.
Good.
So I'd say I got my money's worth out of it.
I texted you both, if we're talking about Star Wars, which we are right now. I texted you both, and I said, what order would you watch it? One of my buddies has never seen the Star Wars, and he said during this thing he's going to watch it with his kids.
Is he American?
Well, that's the way. Another funny story. One time, I used to, when people said they didn't see Rocky, I used to say, "Do your parents hate you?" I used to say that quite a bit.
What's your favorite Rocky, by the way?
Oh, it's so good. It's such a good question.
3's great.
Mickey dies in 3. That's Mickey. The 3.
Did you cry when Mickey died?
I cry every time. I turn it off. My kids have never seen Mickey die, ever, because I turn it off, and then they go, "What are you doing?" I go, "You're never going to see your father cry." So every time, the Rocky 3. So every Christmas we watch Rocky 4.
That's a great one.
Because he fights him on Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie to me.
I have a theory that Sylvester Stallone was responsible for the end of the Cold War.
It's not a theory; it's a fact.
It's a fact.
Yes.
What year did that? Was that 87?
It came out in 1985.
Rocky 4 did?
Yes.
85.
Yes.
Well, 4 years later, the Berlin Wall came down, and everybody in theaters all over the world saw Rocky give that speech at the end of the fight with Drago.
Mm-hmm.
How if
eyes can change,
if I can change,
and
you can change.
There are some things that really get me. Like, I don't understand. I'm trying to figure out, like, the timeline. Like, when he's sitting there, he's like, I say something to my son who should be home in bed, and it's clearly daylight in Los Angeles. Does he not understand how time works like Sylvester Stallone does it? And then he's got his he's got his friends over, and he's like, that's my dad. And they're like, we know. What do you think we are, a bunch of nerds? Like, we know, they know it's your dad. Like, what writing was this? That's all. There's some problems there.
It was for cuteness.
Yeah, and I don't, and the only real problem I have with I going on to Rocky is he just, Paulie just keeps doing bad things. So,
hey yo,
I ain't punching.
Did you like the Creed movies?
Yep, loved them. Loved Creed 1. Creed 2 was okay. It was good. I would have done things differently for Creed 2.
How would you have done it differently?
I would have brought back the guy who ends up going to jail. I would have had him winning the title in there because of and winning Rocky 2, and I wouldn't have had Rocky go away till Creed 3. Do the same homage. I don't like the way it ended. That Rocky's like, I'm going to make up with my son, and then that's just it, and that's how it's going to end. Mm-hmm. But Rocky can't die. That's why there was a Rocky 5. Because the film studio said this is James Bond and Superman. Rocky doesn't die. Originally, Sylvester Stallone had Rocky dying in Rocky 5.
Are they going to do a Creed 3?
I don't know why they wouldn't. You can do this forever. It makes sense to me. All right, so watching it, you say, T-Roy, if I say what order are you supposed to watch Star Wars, you say the order it's released. You say, Jimmy, you say just watch 3, 4, and 5. The rest of them, they can go.
You can throw them in the trash can.
T-Roy, give me the argument why you should watch them chronologically in the Star Wars universe. The exact opposite of how you say it. Why would you watch it the other way?
Why would you start with 1 and work your way up like that?
Yeah, Phantom Menace. And help him out, Jimmy. You do the same. I want to hear the argument the other way. Since you guys know, you probably feel strongly the way it's released, or don't watch the other one. Now I want to hear why watch it with Phantom Menace.
I can't make that argument because the problem with that is, then you don't feel the surprise. Listen, going into it that Darth Vader is Luke's father when you watch the first Star Wars. So none of what you think, Obi-Wan is not telling him the truth right away.
Right.
You can't do it that way. It's
I've
wrong.
I've said many times, I was very fortunate. I was born in 72, so I was 5 in 77. I remember my dad taking me to the Milan Showcase Cinemas 7 times to see that movie.
No, Heidi. You went 7 times as a 5-year-old? You're like, take me again?
Well, there was twice we stayed to watch it twice. So that counts for 4.
Wow.
What a great movie. And here's the thing. I was blessed to be able to see the first Star Wars and not know that Darth Vader was the father.
That's the thing.
He was the ultimate evil, and also not know that Princess Leia was Luke Skywalker's sister. And what that did,
you think they're a love interest at first.
It created this romantic competition between Han and Luke.
Han and
Who's going to
Luke.
get Princess Leia? That's what made that movie.
Right.
And I don't know. My theory is George Lucas did not write the entire 9-story saga at once. If he did, what is he from Arkansas or something? Why did he have Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker kiss? All right.
All right. Here's my thought. I think
really talk a long time about this.
We all know this.
You guys have good points here. Yeah.
Lucas didn't know if this movie was even going to be a hit.
Right.
No real sci-fi movie had been a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek, by the way, had gotten canceled on regular TV.
Yep.
So, and we know how great that is now. All right. He had no clue what was going to go on after this. He didn't know there was going to be Empire Strikes Back.
Nope, you're right.
This thing hit. He probably had a good idea in his mind. Once this thing hit, then he started writing it out. Then he started figuring out what he was going to do. All the backs. He probably had a little simple backstory in his mind, but he didn't have it to the degree it went. Yeah, he had to do some making up. Listen, that's why you got the whole, it was the truth from a certain point of view. There's things that if you pay attention to in the original Star Wars that Obi-Wan says to Luke that aren't true at all. When I met your father, he was already a great pilot. Mm-hmm. No, he was a little boy when you first, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's things that are, he did not have it all right now. So you have to watch it from the beginning to understand, all right, basically what he's trying to do is he's not, in Lucas's mind, he wants you to understand Obi-Wan said all those things in the first one so that Luke never knew that it was his father. He didn't tell him the truth on purpose, whether it was from a certain point of view or not. I cannot argue for it. You cannot watch. You cannot watch it. I can't make an argument because you ruin it.
You may. I think.
There's no way for me to make that argument.
I think you hit a home run by saying that. Yes, you ruined it. I think you're right. My opinion when I sent it to my buddy was you have to watch it the way it was released, like America did. But that makes it good. You have a good. point there.
Yeah, I'm just, yeah.
I think that Return of the Jedi was a scrub job. Scrub meaning you clean everything up really quick. He tried to answer all the questions in a 2-hour movie. He needed more time than that. He said, you know what, we'll just make Luke and Leia brother and sister. That'll solve that romantic competition between Han and Luke.
Well, but he had decided, if you remember right, in
Empire, Yoda says there is another.
There is another.
Mm-hmm.
So they already had Leia as the sister.
They're not saying that was Leia. Some people say that was Rey.
Well, in my eyes, I know that it was Leia because we.
Okay, I accept.
I'm just
your
saying.
point.
What I'm saying, I'm sure they were referencing Leia, and they obviously weren't referencing the baby Yoda from the new things that Favreau wrote. So no, I think they're referencing Leia already. Scrub job. He did have to tie up loose ends. I mean, it was the end. It's a 3. He had to tie everything up, kill the Emperor off. 1, we never knew it was going to go to this point. And then when he came back, and look, how many years did he wait to even do the front story, or the backstory, the prequels?
15 years.
And then after that, he wasn't even involved with the 3 after that.
Yeah.
Somebody else wrote that.
Yeah. Well, I just wasn't a fan of the prequels. They felt rushed. I wasn't a fan of the Disney movies. They felt there wasn't any connection with the characters compared to the original. So, in my opinion,
the original 3 are still the best. They're hands down. They're
you
the
watch
best.
4, 5, and 6, and the rest of them you can kind of just push to the side. And
I think he got excited with all of the fancy technology that he could get to. It's even after I still feel to this day Jedi was ruined when he redid it and changed the song at the end.
I agree.
He changed 2 songs in that movie. The song in Jabba's Palace.
Yep.
And he changed the song at the end of the movie.
The Ewok Celebration song.
Yeah, and it was terrible. The 2 new songs are terrible. I don't need whatever. I like the little lip lady. I didn't need the little furry version of Joe Cocker.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible.
Did you know, I heard a theory that Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher were signed on for 3 movies. Harrison Ford only signed on for 2. And so the only reason they had him frozen in carbonite in Empire Strikes Back was because they didn't know if they could. He was already a big star. He was doing Raiders. They didn't know that they could sign him on for the 3rd movie, so they thought, let's get him in carbonite, and that way, if we have to, we can just have him die in Return of the Jedi. And if you know anything about Harrison Ford, he wanted his character to die. For whatever reasons. I have a theory. Harrison Ford was married to an American woman before he was cast as Han Solo. He goes over to England, where they filmed the first Star Wars. And if you read Princess Leia's or Carrie Fisher's Princess Diaries book, she had an affair with Harrison Ford. They were together when they were filming the first Star Wars. It ruined his first marriage. His 2 kids that he had with that marriage, they were now in a broken home. And because of that, I believe Harrison Ford had a bad taste in his mouth towards Star Wars. And he didn't want to do a 3rd movie. He told George Lucas, kill my character off. And Lucas said, no, we can't have it that way. It's got to be a happy ending. So begged him to come back. He's always been kind of a salty old dog. Doesn't have a lot of positive things to say about Star Wars, but he's the greatest character in that movie. He's what made that movie. I always said the prequels weren't as good because you didn't have that blue collar, crotchety old, not old, but that cool dude, that James Dean type character.
Well, you didn't have that, and by the way, Anakin was a whiny little B-word.
You had a bunch of stuffy Jedis at an English tea party.
Yeah, but
Talking
Anakin
about
was just
politics.
like, Obi-Wan's overly critical all the time, and he doesn't appreciate what I'm doing.
And
Anakin, man.
And no offense to
Anakin's Tom Brady. That's why he left. Anakin had to go to Tampa Bay.
No offense to Hayden Christensen. You can't blame him for taking that part. I would have taken that part. Anybody would have taken that part. But they should have had a giant man. I'm thinking of who was the guy that played the Keegan in The Highlander?
Oh, yeah.
Highlander. The big 7-foot guy?
Well,
just a mammoth man?
Well, he wasn't. I know, he was the guard in Shawshank, too.
Yes, exactly.
Better to burn out.
Yes.
Fade away.
That's the kind of person they should have cast as Anakin Skywalker. Some big, looming, ominous, giant, strong guy. Not some skinny little Anakin. I mean, it took away the energy that you knew this was going to be Darth Vader as he progressed into his fall from grace. What do you think, Jay Foster?
I could listen to you guys talk about this forever. Unfortunately, we only have 30 seconds left. Jimmy Siokas, thank you for joining me today.
Anytime.
We'll see what's going on tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. We'll talk off the air. Want to thank Bilal Muhammad for calling in. Want to thank Jake from EliteSportsbook.com calling in as well. You guys have a safe Tuesday. Stay safe, stay sanitized. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities.
God bless.
1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.